You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Monday morning, a man shot and killed outside of a treatment center. Now police are trying to track down a teenager for questioning. And police say a 10-year-old was killed when a car ran into her electric scooter on Nolensville Pike. We're taking a much closer look at the car that police believe could be responsible. And the clock is ticking. It is your last day to go ahead and register to vote in Tennessee before the November presidential election. We'll also talk about the state and local races on the ballot. But first, I want to say good morning. Happy Monday to you. 4 o'clock is the time. I'm Erica Glover. We're going to get started with Operation Crime and Justice this Monday morning because a teenager right behind me here is wanted for questioning after a deadly shooting outside of a South Nashville treatment center. Let's get some of the details here. Metro Police say Saturday, 19-year-old Malik Turrentine was involved with a fight at the treatment center located over on Foster Avenue. That's when he was asked to go ahead and leave that center. But police say he returned on Sunday and was turned away. As he left, police say there was a deadly shooting and that 44-year-old Michael Harvell was shot and killed. Now police are trying to track down Turrentine for questioning. However, the identity of the shooter, according to police, is still unknown.
We think he may be armed. We can't rule out the possibility that he's armed.
Well, police say if you do happen to see Turrentine, the man right behind me here, or maybe you have some information about the South Nashville shooting, you were asked to go ahead and call Crime Stoppers. That number is 615-742-7463. Now to an overnight update as a 10-year-old girl has died after a hit and run located over on Nolensville Pike. This happened on Saturday. Metro Police say her mother is in critical condition. Officers are still trying to track down this red Nissan that we're sharing you photos of right here on your screen, so do take a look. This Nissan, police say, is possibly connected to the deadly crash. Investigators say that the child was riding her scooter with her mother in the bike lane on Nolensville Pike. Police say that this Nissan should have front end damage, a broken headlight, and also a temporary tag. Call Crime Stoppers for any kind of information that you would like to share. International headlines now. Today does mark the 1-year mark since the Hamas attack on Israel. And around the world, there are ceremonies to go ahead and remember the 1,200 people killed. About 250 people were taken as hostages, and many of them right now are still captive. And Israel is also striking back at Hamas. The war in Gaza has killed more than 41,000 Palestinians and also created a humanitarian crisis. Israel also beginning to attack the militant group Hezbollah over in Lebanon, which has been trading fire along the border with Israel since the start of this war. Lebanese officials say nearly 2,000 people have been killed as Israeli forces drop airstrikes in the capital, Beirut. Just yesterday, the Israeli military issued plans to go ahead and expand its operation in northern Gaza and also increase its forces along Lebanon's border. Back here at home, we're talking about your right to vote. If you're looking to vote in the upcoming presidential election, today is your last day to go ahead and get registered. Fox 17 News, Madeline Nolan joining us live outside of the Davidson County Election Commission office, giving us some more details. Actually, Madeline, you're out there outside of the Capitol. What do we need to know? I know you said today is the final day.
Yes, it is the final day, Erica. And with that being said, the Secretary of State says it is crucial that you check to see if you are registered to vote. And again, if you are not registered, you need to go ahead and get registered today. And if you take a look at your screen, you'll be able to see that video of an app, and you can check your status by visiting govotetn.gov or download that again, GoVoteTN app. Once in the app, you'll be able to check to see your status as well as register from the app, or you can visit your local county commissioner's office to drop off an application in person. Now, Secretary Trey Hargett says that now is an important time to check it to see if you're registered so you don't get an unwelcome surprise when you try to cast your ballot.
Obviously there's a large influx of vote registrations this time of year. Better safe than sorry if you want to confirm that, but if you don't see it active by, Monday, then I would certainly encourage you to go ahead and contact the Davidson County Election Commission.
Hargett says that if you recently moved or you got married, you'll need to be able to update your name as well as your address by today as well. Now, the secretary says that here in Tennessee, we have a super early and robust voting period here because that's being said. October 16th is when you can begin early voting in person. Again, super early, and that way you'll also be able to dodge those lines come November 5th. For now, live here outside of the state capitol, I'm Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, yesterday was a warm day for us. We actually hit 90 degrees here in Nashville, so that gave us our 72nd day of hitting 90 or higher this year so far. Average days of 90 or higher, that's 49, so we are well above that for this year. We've had 35 days where we've hit 95 degrees or higher, but as we head on through the rest of this week, it is going to be a lot different. That cold front bringing in some fall-like air for us for today. We're going to be cooler, really starting to feel like fall as we go through this week. Here's that cold front that I was talking about, all dry too behind that. We're going to stay dry for the next several days. Areas in Florida seeing some rain right now, and that is expected to get a lot heavier as Hurricane Milton begins to get a little bit closer to the Florida coast. I'll have more on that a little bit later on in the show. Temperatures right now for us, they're in the 60s for most locations, a few 50s on the map, 58 in Clarksville, 57 right now in Hopkinsville. We're at 67 here in Nashville. We have some lower 60s along the plateau this morning, 61 in Tullahoma, also in McMinnville, 63 right now in Crossville. 7-day forecast real quick. Want to show you these high temperatures, mid 70s for the next couple of days, upper 70s Wednesday through Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, we're back to the lower 80s.
All right, Brett, thank you so much. Right now, we do want to do a quick check of your Steer Clear traffic update to update you when it comes to construction projects that are scheduled, and it might slow you down. Here is a live look for you. This is I-40, the I-65 South Loop. It is south of Nashville. You can see the flashing lights there, so they do have barriers up, letting you know this is happening. I do want to make sure that you understand that this construction is going to be going on throughout the day. So not just this morning, they're not stopping the traffic, but they are saying slow down in this area. We're going to have some more live looks, tell you if this does happen to impact your traffic on your Monday morning in the coming minutes. A history-making upset right here in Nashville. Well, how Vanderbilt's goalposts ended up in the Cumberland River after they defeated Alabama. Right now on Fox 17 News 409 is the time we are getting some more breaking news updates from the Two Rivers neighborhood. That is where police are on the scene of a shooting. We're just getting the details here, but we do know it happened in the 2600 block of McGavick Pike that is right near the Gaylord Opryland. We have our Fox 17 News crew to the area right here. We're mapping it out for you to show you better perspective, and we're going to have some more live updates as soon as they get there and get their shot up. That way we can see what exactly is happening in this area. Right now, though, let's talk about Hurricane Helene. We understand that so many folks right now, they're getting ready to, go ahead and evacuate and see what's happening next. We are going to check in, I believe, with what's happening, though, in western North Carolina. I do want to make sure that we're getting the right information here, so let me go ahead and look here. We do know the Tennessee Department of Transportation is getting $32 million to go ahead and support emergency repair work after Helene wrecked their roads. We talked about this, for so long now, it feels. Well, the Federal Highway Administration releasing those emergency funds Saturday, and we now know more money could be coming in the future when it comes to emergency relief. In the next 2 weeks, TDOT is going to be working to get one lane open in each direction on I-40 right at the Tennessee border, and that could really make such a big difference. We also have a good news update this Monday morning. A 2-month-old right here on your screen from Murfreesboro has been found safe after an Amber Alert was issued over the weekend. The TBI says that Truth Claybrooks, that's the name, was found over in Nashville, and his mother and aunt were also tracked down. We're going to keep you updated as soon as we get some more details about that particular Amber Alert. We're going to check in now, though, with Brett Luna. Get you that Monday forecast real quick.
Well, Erica, you were just talking about Hurricane Helene. We're going to talk about Hurricane Milton just really quick, too. Right now, Hurricane Milton with maximum winds at 100 miles per hour. It's not going to really bring any rain to our area. Could leave Florida, though, with quite a bit of rainfall. I'll have more on that here in just a bit. Yeah, we're going to have live looks throughout this Monday morning. We also want to show you a vehicle pulled over on the right shoulder. This is I-40 Elm Hill Pike, east of Nashville. It's not causing any issues, but just be mindful of that as you head out the door. Let's talk more about Floridians, though, after the break, bracing for the second major hurricane in less than 2 weeks. More on how this could be their largest evacuation effort since back in 2017.
The Champions Wildcard competition continues on Jeopardy!
Making headlines, talking about politics on Fox News Sunday, vice presidential candidate Tim Walz talked about false statements that he made in the past, which he acknowledged on the debate stage last week.
They know, and I'm very proud of my 24 years in service and my record. I have never disparaged someone else in this, but I know that's not what Donald Trump does. They disparage everyone, the personal attacks. I will own up when I misspeak. I will own up when I make a mistake. But to deny what happened.
Well, his remarks come after he responded to questions surrounding his past false statements during the vice presidential debate that was Tuesday. In the past, he claimed that he was present during the protests back in 1989, which were later proven false after public evidence showed he was not in China at that time. Meanwhile, former President Donald Trump speaking at a campaign rally over in Wisconsin, encouraging folks to get out and vote, also, though, making a prediction about elections.
I think it's very severe, but I can understand it. Some people say you'll never have an election again. This would be your last election. And I can see it.
Well, Donald Trump has previously casted doubts regarding the results of elections. And as you heard, as we have talked about previously, today is Tennessee's voter registration deadline. We're going to have some more live updates from Madeline Nolan this morning. Billionaire entrepreneur, though, Elon Musk saying that 2 federal agencies mishandled his Starlink services, which could aid flood victims over in western North Carolina. He is now criticizing the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, and the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, for their decisions making about Starlink, which provides internet access from space. Musk claimed the FCC illegally revoked a Starlink grant that could have left North Carolina to having more than 19,500 Starlink kits. Musk also slamming FEMA, saying it had blocked shipments of Starlink satellites to the state. He later said that problem, though, was resolved. The Southeast has a long road to recovery after Helene's destruction, but Florida right now is bracing for another possible hurricane to make landfall on Wednesday. Fox News' Chanley Painter looking right now at the ongoing preparations.
It's a war zone.
Another round of devastation could overwhelm many communities already lying in ruin in the wake of Hurricane Helene. This as forecasters say Hurricane Milton strengthened Sunday in the Gulf and is creeping closer.
It's going to start picking up the pace there as it comes closer to Florida before it makes landfall, likely sometime on Wednesday afternoon. Florida
Governor Ron DeSantis says it's too early to tell with 100% accuracy where Milton could impact. Forecasters looking at possible tracks suggest Milton could strike in the Tampa Bay region before moving across central Florida and making its way out into the Atlantic.
The path comes right over us, so I'm hoping it changes a little bit so we don't get all the rain, but we see what the constant rain can do. It just floods the area.
If you are not feeling comfortable, if your home is not safe to live in, it's good to find another place to go, whether it's with friends or a hotel.
Governor DeSantis on Sunday expanding a state of emergency declaration to include 51 counties.
I have water, I have canned goods, I have flashlights, I have pretty much everything else I need.
He's warning potential destruction from Milton could be amplified because of the vast amount of debris from Helene that's still lingering around many neighborhoods. DeSantis is calling for local contractors to quickly bolster removal.
Just sitting there is a hazard.
Forecasters say Milton could potentially reach Category 4 status, but weaken to a Category 3 before landfall. FEMA's administrator says the agency is already making preparations. I'm Chanley Painter, Fox News.
Chanley, thank you. Also important to point out, more than 15 million people are under flood watches for Milton.
Oh yeah, it's going to be another rainmaker just like Helene was, but just kind of in a different part of the country. I think Florida's going to see a lot of this though. Hopefully it doesn't do anything too much to the North Carolina area, East Tennessee. But I want to start out with this Hurricane Milton graphic real quick too. Right now Milton is a Category 2 hurricane, maximum winds at 100 miles per hour. You can see it spinning down there in the southwestern part of the Gulf of Mexico. But right now it looks like it's going to kind of move on this easterly track, and as it does, that's going to take it right over Florida. So just like you heard, strengthen into a Category 4 hurricane with maximum winds around 145 miles per hour by Tuesday, and then a little bit closer to making landfall. It should drop down a little bit, probably making landfall as a Category 3 hurricane, and then as it starts to move over Florida, obviously once these move inland, they run out of steam by Thursday, dropping back down to a Category 1 status, but still could bring in quite a bit of rainfall to those areas. We could be talking about double-digit amounts of rainfall, about 10 inches or so in some of these spots. Some areas maybe even going a little bit higher than that. It's just going to going to depend on the exact track. But as we go through the next several days, Future Track not picking up any rainfall for us. It's really all just going to be concentrated down there in the Gulf of Mexico. That's where the bulk of the activity is going to be on. Most of us back up here not really seeing much rain at all. So all dry through Tuesday. Wednesday we stay all dry. And then here's Milton coming in, making landfall probably sometime later on Wednesday. But we'll still keep it dry across Tennessee and Kentucky throughout the day on Wednesday. And then moving on into Thursday, Milton just keeps on moving up on that northeasterly track. At that point, we'll be back on the northwestern side of that though, and it is still going to just stay calm here. It's actually going to be feeling a really good, plenty of sunshine for us as we head through these next few days as well, and it is just going to stay dry. So very calm weather ahead for us for these next several days. Temperatures today by noon, we should be in the lower 70s. We're going to stay in the lower 70s by 5 o'clock, and then this weather is just going to keep on looking really nice for us for the next several days. Mid 70s for us on Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday through Friday, high temperatures will be in the upper 70s, and then Saturday and Sunday we warm up a little bit more even with highs in the lower 80s. Plenty of sunshine for these next several days. I think we stay dry all the way through this week, and then there's a decent chance at least next week. I think we stay mostly all dry that week as well. Overnight low temperatures are going to drop down near 50 for the next several nights.
All right, Brett, thank you so much for that update. 4:20 is the time. So right now, let's check in once again for your steer clear traffic update before you head out the door this Monday. This is I-40 at Elm Hill Pike. Just want to make sure you're aware because there is a vehicle pulled over on the right shoulder. There are no flashers here, so just be careful. Watch out for this vehicle. It's east of Nashville. Then we're going to take another look back at the ongoing construction to make sure that you are aware of what's happening at that particular site. We're going to flip our cameras if we can to show you the construction that's happening in our next, well, hold on, let me see right here. Now I can do it. Here we are. This is I-40, I-65, the south of Nashville loop right here. This construction is not just this morning, okay? It's going to be going on throughout the day, so do be mindful of this if you're heading out to this area. We're going to do another check of your steer clear traffic update this Monday morning in just a couple of minutes. We got you covered, here to save you some time. Hey, the Vanderbilt Commodores. In case you missed it, I don't know how it's possible that you would have missed it, but look at this video. They certainly made history over the weekend. Let's talk about it. The SEC fining Vanderbilt, though, $100,000 after fans, they stormed the field, they got the goalpost, and then they carried it down to Broadway. And then they tossed it in the Cumberland River. And now pieces of the goalpost are on sale online. The bid for 4-inch pieces of the goalpost are going for more than $1,000. What? All right. Would you pay for that? That's interesting. By the way, I know folks are wondering if anybody got arrested or perhaps were they fined or anything for taking the post down to Broadway. Metro Police say no arrests were made in connection to everything that happened, but it certainly was a good time for folks who were out there enjoying all the celebrations. I mean, why not celebrate? Anchor down, by the way. Coming up, though, on Fox 17 News this Monday morning, community leaders asking
to get your podcasts.
4:24 is the time, and right now here in Nashville, a group called Nashville Organized for Action and Hope, or NOAA, they're hosting a public meeting with Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell called Move Towards Equity. Advocacy groups gathered at the Riverside Nashville Church to go ahead and ask the mayor questions about his proposed Choose How You Move transit overhaul plans, also police oversight and affordable housing. Some are showing their support for the mayor's transit plan, which does require the public's approval through a ballot question in November's election. But supporters want to offset the sales tax hike with either reducing or getting rid of the grocery tax. Mayor Freddie O'Connell seeming positive in his response, but does not want to make any promises.
I think its success increases the probability that we could reduce further the impact on groceries simply because we would not have nearly as much pressure on our operating budget and general fund with property tax revenue.
We've also talked about how the mayor's $3.1 billion transit plan would raise sales tax by about 0.5%. In consumer news, TWRA says that officers are doing their part to clean up after Hurricane Helene. Look at this. Officers here in this video, they were helping out over at washed out roads right along the Nolichucky River. Vehicles buried in the mud after the floodwaters just swept them away. I-40 does remain closed over at the Tennessee-North Carolina state line. We're going to check in now with our Code Red meteorologist. Brett, you made me laugh this morning because there were, radars showing a little bit of rain, so you ran outside?
Yeah, I was just making sure, but no, we don't have anything going on. Nothing bad out there. We did get a lot of rain, though, with Helene as it moved through. Here's the percentage of normal map from over the past 30 days. A lot of us saw about 100% to almost even up to about 200% total amount of rainfall for the month of September. So we did really good. That helped bust us out of the drought. Here's what our current map looks like. Just that level 1 and level 2 drought in that little shade of orange down there. Drought scale goes up to 4. So level 1 and level 2 out of 4 really not doing too bad. So good news for us. We at least got that beneficial rainfall with Helene because now we're in this long dry stretch. It looks like at least for the next week or two. This is the map from October 12th through the 16th. The Climate Prediction Center giving us a way better chance of a better chance than drier than normal conditions. And then for that next time frame, October 14th through the 20th, we're still going to be talking about drier than normal conditions here across Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. For your weekend, shaping up to be a beautiful weekend for us. Temperatures in the lower 80s, plenty of sunshine, and that's going to be well above normal for this time of year.
All right, Brett, thank you so much. We're going to now go to the sleeping truck right here. This is I-40 White Bridge Road and your steer clear traffic update. This is West Nashville. Now, typically we see a lot more trucks than just one, but right now, just that solo truck hanging out there in that area. We are not seeing any other issues, though, when I check out the SmartWay traffic maps that are going to cause you any slowdowns as of right now. But we know that things typically pick up. Now, I just said there's only one truck, and then you see one pulling up right here on that right shoulder there. All right, he just had to prove me wrong. We're going to have another steer clear traffic update for you here on Fox 17 News throughout the morning up until 9 o'clock. After the break, though, we're getting some more details from police about a teenager killed in a Nashville.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning and happy Monday from all of us here at Fox 17 News. We're talking about the volunteer spirit and generosity across the mid-state as always. We are now learning much more about the new donations headed to families over in East Tennessee. And getting ready for the November elections. If you want to cast your vote, today is the last day to register. How East Tennessee is going to be, going ahead and voting. We'll have you some more updates and live looks about that. Right now, though, in Operation Crime and Justice, a 15-year-old girl was shot and killed Saturday night. A witness telling police that someone fired over in Smith Springs Park. That is in the Percy Priest Lake area. Metro Police say the victim, Genesis Gonzalez, was shot several times. We're told she was also rushed to the hospital, but did not survive. We do know police are still trying to track down the gunman, and we'll have some more details for you this Monday morning. Also new right now, though, a man's body was found over in the Cumberland River overnight. Detectives say they're now trying to identify the man, who they describe as a black man who does appear to be in his 30s to 40s, somewhere in that time frame. This investigation, though, is ongoing. Well, a week after Hurricane Helene left so much flooding and destruction in East Tennessee and parts of North Carolina and Florida, thousands are still dealing with power outages, and they don't have water, they don't have food, they are desperate for any kind of supplies. But Middle Tennesseans, they're stepping up to help, and Nashville Superspeedway over in Wilson County is opening their gates to serve as a primary donation drop-off location.
I think it's something that all of the SMI tracks should really get behind. It's a good opportunity to have people provide, give back to the community. We have the space for it, and I think it's a good thing. We should all do it.
Wow, the donations collected at Nashville Superspeedway are going to be trucked to Bristol Motor Speedway. That's where the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency has made the track for a distribution center for disaster relief in Northeast Tennessee. That is fantastic. From Bristol, those donations are going to be funneled to the counties and the people who need it the most. Now, talking about donations, also new this Monday morning, the Robertson County Sheriff's Office just blown away by the number of community donations headed to East Tennessee. The sheriff there writing on Facebook that the donations Friday, they stacked up to 7 tons and were, quote, nothing short of remarkable. That does include more than 10,000 bottles of water. So folks are just getting it done, and that's what we want to see. By the way, Fox 17 News, we are partnering with the Salvation Army and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcast Group, to help with Hurricane Helene relief efforts. So far, your generation, get this, has helped us raise more than $200,000. Sinclair is also stepping up, contributing an additional $50,000. So here's how you make that donation. Scan the QR code right here on the left-hand portion of your screen, or go to sinclaircares.com to go ahead and make a donation. 4:32 is the time. I do want to check in with our Code Red meteorologist. Do you need some more Red Bull, Brett? How you feeling?
No, I'm feeling pretty good. I think, yeah, I got a little bit of rest. We're going to be okay today. So here we go. 72 days. That's how many 90-degree plus days that we've had so far now this year. And that's why, and the reason I'm showing this map is because yesterday we hit 90 degrees again. Yesterday was a warm one, so that makes 72 days now this year. 35 days we've had 95 degree or higher. So just a pretty warm summer for us too. We are going to be trending cooler though as we head into these next couple of days. It's really going to start to feel like fall. This week is looking really nice for you if you have any sort of outdoor plans. We're also going to be staying dry too. We had that cold front move through, dry air behind that, feeling really good for the next several days. Down here in Florida though, that's going to be kind of the talk for the next few days with Hurricane Milton as it starts to get a little bit closer to the Florida coast over these next couple of days. Temperatures right now, they're in the 60s for most areas. We're at 67 here in Nashville, 61 down there in McMinnville. Later on today though, shaping up to be really good. Temperatures should be in the 70s throughout most of the day. Mid-70s Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday through Friday will be in the upper 70s, lower 80s Saturday and Sunday. Overnight low temperatures near 50.
All right, Brett, I need some more coffee, so caffeine on the way. Let's head out here to the airport and show you a live look. I know on Monday mornings, this area gets really busy with folks who are heading either out of town or in town. So here is a live look for you. This is going to be Donaldson Pike, where right now you can see for yourself, we're not seeing any issues. This spot looks really, really good. We like to say that. We're going to continue to check in on our SmartWay traffic maps and hopefully save you some time. That's why we're here on Fox 17 News this morning. After Helene devastated parts of East Tennessee, some folks are wondering what it's going to take to get those impacted voting in November, if they're going to be able to step up and get that done. Fox 17 News' Madeline Nolan joining us live from outside the state capitol, trying to give us some more information, Madeline, about folks who have been impacted, and now they're trying to figure out, hey, am I going to have time to vote? So what do we need to know? And good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Erica. And yeah, that's right. So this is definitely going to affect some people who are working to either vote in person early or vote by mail. But the Secretary of State here in Tennessee says that they are working tirelessly to make sure that this does not turn away voters. Now, this comes after Secretary Trey Hargett toured the 6 counties most affected there in East Tennessee. He says the Department of Safety, along with FEMA, are working to help out those who may have lost their license in the storm. But they're also working with the U.S. Postal Service, who has been working to get back up and operational in those affected areas.
We were just in Greene County, where the Greene County administrator was praising the work of the United States Postal Service. They really stepped up, and you know, there's a lot of effort to make sure that people have the opportunity to get their ballot. Certainly, if their ballot's spoiled, there's legally a mechanism to be able to get them a new one. And if people didn't get their absentee ballot but want to show up and vote on election day, or they're already voting, we can get their provisional ballot as well. So they're not going to be able to vote twice, but we can certainly get their provisional ballot. They'll be counted if their absentee ballot's not received.
Also, today is the last day to register to vote if you want to take part in this year's presidential election. The Secretary of State says that it's never been easier to register to vote. You can do that by going on an app, which is the Go Vote Tennessee app. But again, it will have more coming up in the next half hour on why it is important to vote, as well again as this early election voting period. For now, live here outside of the state capitol, I'm Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Madeline, thank you so much for that information. We're going to be talking about Hurricane Milton, how it's impacting the Predators, why their final preseason game is not going to be happening as planned. And there's a Nashville organization bringing showers to folks who are waiting for running water, the impact they are making over in North Carolina. I just want to say 4:39 is the time on this Monday morning. We're showing you a live look of all the lights over there on Broadway. There's Bridgestone Arena in the distance. This is where the Nashville Predators are going to be opening up their latest season against the Dallas Stars on Thursday night. Meanwhile, here's something worth noting. Their preseason game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, that's canceled because Florida, as we talked about, is bracing for Hurricane Milton. That particular game was scheduled for tonight after being pushed back due to Hurricane Helene last month. So they got a lot going on, but they're going to be here Thursday here in Nashville. Talking about Nashville, there is one Nashville nonprofit that is truly making a big difference when they talk about Helene recovery efforts over in North Carolina. That's because they're giving what many of us might be taking for granted, some hot showers. Shower Up Nashville has mobile trailers, look at this, that are equipped with showers and washers and dryers, and they typically serve the unhoused community. I've had the chance to speak with them in the past about that, but they were called to Asheville, North Carolina to go ahead and help with Helene recovery efforts. Shower Up is operating 7 days a week, and they are giving storm victims and families more than 1,000 showers so far and clean loads of laundry, as Asheville and other areas are still without running water. So they are certainly stepping up. Listen.
Most of these folks haven't had a shower or even laundry done in over a week. And of course, there's no running water here. So we're relying literally on the kindness and the generosity of people to allow us to get water delivered. We had a water tanker truck that just showed up, and he stayed here for 3 days pumping water for us.
Well, listen to this. Hundreds of first responders and search and rescue crews are also getting the chance for a refreshing shower.
All day long, they are covered in just the disaster. I'm going to spare the details. They're covered in the disaster. That's all over them. And all they want is to have clean clothes and a shower.
Absolutely. Shower Up uses 5,000 gallons of water a day, all donated from any source they can find. So the nonprofit is accepting donations, and we have a link to their website on our website. Go to fox17.com, search up Shower Up, and that way you can get all the details.
We're off to a really nice start here across Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. Nothing to complain about. It's going to be a very calm and quiet day for us. Temperatures this morning in the low to upper 60s. We're at 67 here in Nashville, but as we head through the rest of the day, we will warm up some, but temperatures are going to be much cooler than what we had yesterday. Yesterday we hit 90. Today we're going to have those temperatures in the 70s throughout most of the day. If you want to do any sort of grilling after you get off of work later on today, temperatures by 6 in the upper 60s. By 7 and 8 we drop down a little bit, but still in the mid 60s. Plenty of sunshine through the day, and we're going to stay clear as we head on into tonight. For this weekend, if you have any outdoor plans, it's going to be a great one. A little bit warmer though, plenty of sunshine. Temperatures are going to be in the lower 80s. Saturday going with a high at 80. Sunday we're at 82, and that is going to be warmer than normal for this time of year. Typically we're around the upper 70s this time of year.
We're going to do a quick check of your steer clear traffic. Take you here, I-65 over at Rosa Parks Ave. This is in Metro Center. No issues at hand. This spot looking very good. Hey, the SEC is fining Vanderbilt University. Right now, Fox 17 News showing you a live look once again back on Lower Broadway, talking about everything happening this week. What about over the weekend, though? Did y'all get a handout over to Germantown for Oktoberfest? We're going to be talking about what happened over the weekend there, show you some photos, talk about the celebrations, and of course what's happening this week in just a couple of minutes. But we do unfortunately have to talk about the boss, and that's tough. A big upset. All right, I understand. Hey, more folks in the U.S. are living to 100, including former President Jimmy Carter, who did hit that milestone last week on Tuesday. Experts say there are ways to go ahead and boost your chance of making it to 100. I can think of a couple of ways. CNN's Mandy Gaither has the details.
It's a milestone more are reaching, and the number of people who hit 100 in the U.S. is expected to more than quadruple over the next 30 years. But when it comes to living healthier for longer, experts say age is more than a number. Instead, aging is marked by metabolism changes, cells no longer replicating, stem cell exhaustion, meaning they aren't replenishing as quickly, and declining immunity.
Each one of those hallmarks of aging, as they're called, is a potential area for intervention, where you could actually extend lifespan by focusing on those things.
Dr. Sanjay Gupta says that while we do age a little every day, studies show there are bursts of molecular changes that accelerate aging, and he says they happen when a person's around 44 years old and again around 60 years old.
Those things start to change primarily at those ages. So those are ages where you should really start to pay attention to aging more than you normally do.
The CDC says healthy Healthy aging means making good lifestyle decisions and developing healthy habits. That includes nutrition, having a healthy, balanced diet, keeping our minds stimulated, getting enough sleep, staying physically active and socially connected and engaged with others, and managing stress. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
All right, I'm out here laughing in the studio. She said get enough sleep.
Yeah,
okay.
that's difficult.
What about drinking a lot of coffee and Red Bull?
You know, you just got to do what you got to do. It's probably not terrible for you. I'm no health expert, but
fingers crossed. Yeah. All right, you are a weather expert, though, so what do we need to know this Monday morning?
You know, I think it's going to be all the talk about Hurricane Milton. We're not going to have to deal with really anything here. It is all calm for us for the next week, maybe even 2 weeks. But down south of here, it's going to be a different story. We have Hurricane Milton down there in the southwestern part of the Gulf of Mexico. Category 2 hurricane right now, maximum winds at 100 miles per hour. Right now, it looks like that's going to keep on moving off on a northeasterly track, and that's going to take it right over Florida. Still too early to tell you the exact spot on the Florida coast that it could make landfall, but really anywhere within this cone along the Gulf Coast is going to be possible. It's going to strengthen to a Category 4 hurricane, and once it moves up a little bit deeper into the Gulf, right there around Tuesday with maximum winds about 145 miles per hour. Once it moves in closer to the Florida coast, though, it is going to start to lose at least a little bit of steam, probably making landfall as a Category 3 hurricane. So still a major hurricane, though, if it makes landfall as that Category 3. Could bring some very high rainfall totals to some of these areas as well. We could be talking about 5 to 10 inches or so for some of these spots, maybe even going a little bit higher. So some very heavy rainfall obviously going to be possible as Milton works its way over there. And there's Milton. You can see it spinning right here on Future Track. If you look north, though, back up here into our area, we get nothing. It is going to be all dry across Tennessee and Kentucky. We're going to keep it dry as we head through the rest of Thursday and then moving on into Friday as well. It's going to stay dry right here Saturday, Sunday. If you have any outdoor plans this weekend, shaping up to be a really nice weekend for you. Temperatures later on today should warm to the 70s, and that's as high as we're going to get. Lower 70s throughout a good bit of the afternoon. I think high temperatures today, though, should top out around the mid 70s, going with 76 our high today. 76 on Tuesday, upper 70s for us Wednesday through Friday, and then this weekend, plenty of sunshine still and dry. High temperatures in the lower 80s, so we are going to be a little bit warmer. Overnight low temperatures Monday night through really Friday night, I think those are going to be down near 50, so we are going to be off to some cool starts each morning coming up.
That's what I like to see, Brett. Sunshine, dry, fantastic way to start the Monday. Hey, for anyone who is waking up with us right now on Fox 17 News, you're just now turning on to the news right now. Do be mindful of this construction that is happening I-40, I-65 South Loop. It's south of Nashville. This was planned construction, so you see the lights over there. You see folks are going through here, no issues right now. I just wanted to make sure that you're aware of this as you head out the door on this Monday morning. Talking about driving, turn signal malfunction problems are causing Stellantis to go ahead and recall thousands of Ram trucks. Now, do look at the TV right now. You can see what we're talking about. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has issued a recall notice for about 130,000 Ram 1500 pickup trucks made from 2023 to 2024. The company says that the turn signal may not shut itself off when the turn is completed. So recall notices are going to be sent out by October 29th, the end of this month, to go ahead and let the impacted owners understand and know what's going on. And vehicles can be taken to Chrysler dealers for necessary steering column control replacements. A lot of words there. If you want the details, go on over to fox17.com. We got you covered. In the economy, seniors are getting some more Social Security benefits. We're taking a closer look, and you may know this week how much those benefits are going to increase next year. The Social Security Administration is expected to announce the 2025 cost of living adjustments, often called COLA increases, is going to happen Thursday. About 70 million folks are expected to get hikes in their Social Security checks, but don't be looking for too much, okay? According to the advocacy group Senior Citizens League, the increases are expected to be about 2.5% for next year. Next year's adjustments, though, will likely be the smallest since 2021. The average senior Social Security check is $1,907 a month. COLA adjustments, though, are set every year in October for the next year, and it's all based on calculations from the September's Consumer Price Index, the CPI. Coming up, we have a warning about this fall about a tasty treat that can, some say, hide some unaware of or unknown illnesses. So we're going to get you covered on the apple cider sicknesses. And Fox
at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News on this, almost said Sunday morning. It is not Sunday morning, y'all. It is certainly Monday morning, but right now we're showing you a live look over at Nissan Stadium. You know why I said Sunday? Because I was thinking about the Titans game, which is happening, you know, on October 13th. So we're going to be talking about the Titans coming up in just a couple of minutes. But yes, it is certainly a Monday morning here on Fox 17 News. Let's talk about health, though. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and doctors are reminding women of the importance of early assessments. Cleveland Clinic health experts say women should start testing for breast cancer when they turn 25, and this is especially crucial, they say, for those with a family history of breast cancer. Those with a family history of breast cancer should get mammograms by the age of 30. This is all according to health experts. Those without a rampant history of cancer should start getting them at 40. And if you have insurance, yearly mammograms are typically covered. You can schedule yours online over at HCA-TriStarMammogramScheduler.com. And I also want to make sure that you know Nashville General Hospital is offering free and low-cost walk-in mammograms every Monday throughout this month for women 40 and older, all for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. If you want to get some more information about that, go to NashvilleGeneral.org, and we got you covered over on Fox17.com. You can also find all the details on our website. Continuing health news now. I'm a big apple cider lover, but some are now saying before you take a sip of apple cider this fall, just keep a couple of things in mind. U.S. health officials are reminding people that unpasteurized apple cider, it could contain harmful bacteria that could possibly get you sick. Most juices sold in the U.S., though, are required to be pasteurized, meaning the juice has been heated to go ahead and kill all the harmful bacteria. And although the U.S. Food and Drug Administration does require packaged unpasteurized juices to have a warning label of the possible bacteria, some folks say that juices sold by the glass at the farmers market, the apple orchards, and the roadside stands, they are not required to have that same warning. So health leaders say you can pasteurize the juice at home by heating it to 158 degrees Fahrenheit for at least 1 minute. Or you can even ask the vendor if you have any questions about the pasteurization of the juice. Okay, the more you know. I don't know. My daughter drinks a lot of apple juice, so there's some health news for you this Monday morning. Let's talk about sports, though. LeBron James and his son, Bronny, they became the first father-son duo to play together on an NBA team. It's really cool here. History was made at Sunday's preseason game between the LA Lakers and the Phoenix Suns. It was only for about 4 minutes, but you understand the fans are really excited to see this happening. We're going to get our Code Red meteorologist, his mic, Brett Luna. We're going to get his mic on because he knows all about this. Hundreds of balloons taking to the New Mexico skies. This was the 52nd annual Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. Brett, is your mic on?
You know what? I'm not sure.
There we go. There we go.
Cool,
It
you can
is.
hear me. And I'm telling you,
always talk about how cool this is.
It is one of the coolest things. It's going on right now. It'll be going on this upcoming week as well. I wanted to get out there so bad this year, but more than 500 balloons taking off. Some of my friends, a lot of my friends were out there.
They have special shapes too.
Oh yeah, there's special shapes. You have a cow. I think there's like, you know, with Wells Fargo, the bank, there's their emblem or logo there.
And I also want to encourage folks to go to your Facebook page for Brett Luna. Okay, because you shared photos last year, right?
I did. I made a little video. It's on Instagram. It's one of the coolest things I've seen.
Yeah, it's on my bucket list for sure.
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
we want to talk about your Monday forecast and find out, you know, what's happening. What do you need to wear? Brett, what can you share with us?
Yeah, it's just a beautiful week ahead for us. So if you have any outdoor plans, it's going to be a fantastic week for you to get out there and just enjoy those. We'll get plenty of sunshine. We're going to stay dry, and our temperatures are really going to be feeling good too, especially for the next couple of days if you like that more fall-like air. I want to show you this drought map real quick too. This drought map is the one that came out last Thursday, and you can see that significant improvement from the one that we had before that. That one did not take into account that Helene rainfall, but this map does take into account that Helene rainfall, and it got a lot of us out of that drought. But now we're going to go into a long dry stretch. I think we're going to stay dry the rest of this week, and then even next week, it looks like right now it's shaping up to be a pretty dry one, and that's what I'll show you right here. So this is for October 12th through the 16th. The Climate Prediction Center giving Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky a good chance of drier than normal conditions. And then for that next week, this is October 14th through the 20th, we're still going to be talking about drier than normal conditions here across Tennessee and Kentucky. So as far as any weekend plans go for you, still a beautiful weather, but just a little bit warmer. warmer. We'll get plenty of sunshine Saturday and Sunday. High temperatures should be in the lower 80s. So a beautiful weekend ahead for us. Mostly sunny skies and warmer than normal. Typically, we're going to be around the mid to upper 70s for this time of the year for the weekend. Here's your 7-day forecast. Mid 70s. Stick around with us today and tomorrow. Cool starts to the morning too. We are going to get a little bit cooler. Overnight low temperatures for the next several nights. Those are going to be in the lower 50s. Wednesday we warm up just a couple of degrees, 78. We'll stay at 78 on Thursday. Again, plenty of sunshine this entire week. Not a whole lot of cloud cover at all and not any rain chance for us. Saturday, Sunday, those are the warmer days with high temperatures in the lower 80s.
Brett, thank you so much. Let's check in now for a steer clear traffic update. Nothing happening on the SmartWay traffic mats that could impact your drive, except for the construction that I showed you earlier. So I'm going to take you here to I-24. This is going to be Waldron Road, Laverne. I'm not seeing any kind of issues out there right now. This spot looking very good. I'll go back over to Metro Center, not too far from our station. I-65 at Rosa Parks Ave, also giving you the green light.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Monday morning, a man shot and killed outside of a South Nashville treatment center. Right now, police are trying to track down a teenager for questioning.
And we have a 10-year-old who has died. Police say a car ran into her electric scooter. We're going to take a closer look at the car that police think might have been involved.
And we're also talking about the election. Today is the last day to register to vote here in Tennessee before the November presidential election. We'll talk about the state and local races also on the ballot.
Glad to have you here for Fox 17 News this morning.
Yeah, I'm Erica Glover.
I'm Jennifer Waddell. We begin right now in Operation Crime and Justice. We have a teenager who was wanted for questioning after a deadly shooting right outside of a treatment center in South Nashville.
Yeah, we're getting some of the details here. Metro Police saying it happened Saturday when a 19-year-old named Malik Turrentine was involved in a fight at a South Nashville treatment facility. That's when police say he was asked to leave, but police also say he returned Sunday only to be told to go away again.
All right, so as he left, police say there was a deadly shooting. Metro Police confirmed the victim here is 44-year-old Michael Harvell. Police are trying to find Turrentine for questioning. Now, they're not saying specifically that he fired the shot. That's something they're still trying to figure out. But again, Turrentine wanted for questioning.
We think he may be armed. We can't rule out the possibility that he's armed.
Well, the police say if you see Turrentine or maybe you have any information about that shooting, you're asked to go ahead and call Crime Stoppers. That number is 615-742-7463.
And now to an overnight update as a 10-year-old girl has now died after a hit and run on Nolensville Pike. It happened Saturday. Metro Police say her mom is also in critical condition. Officers still searching for this red Nissan that may have been connected to the crash. That little girl riding her scooter with her mom in the bike lane on Nolensville Pike.
And police say that this Nissan should have front end damage, a broken headlight, and a temporary tag. They're also asking folks to call Crime Stoppers if you have any information about this car. Maybe you've seen it out there.
Yeah. 5:02 is your time right now. Today marks 1 year since the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel. That attack killing 1,200 Israelis at a music festival, 250 people taken as hostages.
And many of them are still captive. We know that. Now Israel is striking back at Hamas. The war in Gaza has killed more than 41,000 Palestinians. Also created a humanitarian crisis.
We also have been documenting over the last couple of weeks that Israel is really ramping up its attacks on Hezbollah in Lebanon, which has been trading fire along the border with Israel since the start of the war. Now, Lebanese officials say about 2,000 people have been killed as Israeli forces drop airstrikes in Beirut. Yesterday, the Israeli military issued plans to expand its operation in northern Gaza and increase forces along Lebanon's border.
Back here at home, if you are looking to vote in the upcoming presidential election, today is your last day to go ahead and get registered.
All right, this is it. Fox 17 News reporter Madeline Nolan joining us live this morning to tell us how you can do that and all the details about some of the races up on the ballots.
Yeah, good morning. Let's just say that you're not registered to vote. Well, today, again, is the last day to get registered. The Secretary of State says that it is very important to check and see if you are registered. Now, so you can do that by going and visiting the website govote10.gov, or you can download an app, which is the Go Vote 10 app. Once in the app, you'll be able to check your status as well as register from the app, or you can visit your local county commissioner's office to drop off an application in person. You can also mail in an application, but it just has to be postmarked by today. Secretary Trey Hargett says now is an important time to check and see if you are registered so you don't get an unwelcome surprise when you try to cast your ballot come November 5th.
Obviously there's a large influx of vote registrations this time of year. Better safe than sorry if you want to confirm that, but if you don't see it active by, Monday, then I would certainly encourage you to go ahead and contact the Davidson County Election Commission.
Now, Hargett says that if you recently got married or you moved, you'll also need to update your name and address by today as well. The secretary says that early voting here in Tennessee is actually super robust, given that early voting begins October 16th, super early, and that way you'll also be able to dodge those lines come November 5th. For now, live here outside of the state capitol, I'm Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, yesterday was a warm day for us. We had 90 degrees right here in Nashville. We had that cold front move through, though, and it's going to drop our temperatures down significantly for the next couple of days. But with that 90-degree day, that put us at 72 days so far this year here in Nashville, where we've hit 90 degrees or higher. We've had 35 days of 95 degrees or higher in Nashville. But what's trending is fall-like weather. It's going to get cooler. That cold front bringing in some cooler and drier air. Here's that front, and then everybody's just going to be talking about down here in Florida with the approach of Hurricane Milton. Should make landfall a little bit later on in the day on Wednesday. So we'll be keeping our eyes out on that, and I'll have more updates on Milton for you here in a little bit too. Temperatures right now, they're in the 50s and 60s. 65 here in Nashville, McMinnville at 59, one of the lower spots on the map, except for up there in the northwestern part of our viewing area. 55 in Clarksville, 57 right now in Hopkinsville. If you have any plans later on today, a beautiful day for you. Lower 70s throughout a lot of the afternoon. I think high temperatures should warm to the mid 70s a little bit later on, though. Plenty of sunshine for us today. 76 again on Tuesday. We warm to the lower 80s by this weekend.
Brett, thank you very much. 5:06 is your time. Happy Monday to you. It is October 7th. Let's get a check of steer clear traffic. This is I-24, Old Hickory Boulevard. Looking good this morning. A little blurry, that camera's maybe
it's on Monday, okay?
Bleary-eyed. It hasn't woken up yet, but all that to say, things are really looking good out there right now. I'm going to do a quick check just to make sure we don't have any crashes anywhere else, but I do believe things are nice and smooth here on your Monday morning. No problems that you're going to run into as you get up and head out the door, but we'll give you another check again in just a couple minutes.
That camera is on Monday mode, like
yeah,
me. Hey, we're going to talk more about a history-making upset, how Vanderbilt's goalposts ended up in the Cumberland River, and the fine that they're going to have to pay now. I don't think they minded, though.
I was going to say, cracks me up. Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning, 5:09. In case you missed it over the weekend, the Vanderbilt Commodore football team made history, upsetting #1 ranked Alabama right here on home turf in Nashville. And the celebrations continued after they rushed the field. They took down the goalpost and marched it straight down Broadway about 3 miles to the Cumberland River.
So where is the goalpost now? Can I buy a piece of history?
Oh
We're
my
get some more details from Fox 17 News' Johnny Maffey. You laugh, but you know folks want a piece of that history. Good morning, Johnny.
Good morning. Certainly a historic upset against #1 Alabama, who's now #7 Alabama. Those goalposts marched right down Broadway, right here into the Cumberland River on the riverfront, and it was a sky full of lighters or phone flashlights, the modern day lighters. But those goalposts, the Nashville Fire Department then pulled them out of the river. Vanderbilt has them, and you can, Erica, buy a piece of history if you want. I tweeted out the link this morning. Vanderbilt is auctioning off part of the goalpost, the bidding over $1,000. You can see him taking them down right here as well.
All right, we apologize for the microphone issues there with Johnny. We'll be talking more about the Vanderbilt upset as we go live through 9 a.m. Right now, though, we have a positive news update this morning. A 2-month-old from Murfreesboro found safe after an Amber Alert got issued over the weekend.
The TVI says that Truth Claybrooks was found in Nashville. That's the baby. His mother and aunt also located. We're going to share some more details about the situation as the information updates come in. You can also read more about it over on fox17.com. Brett.
Today's going to be a fantastic day for any of y'all that have any outdoor plans. We are all dry behind that cold front. The weather is really going to start to feel good too. Highs only in the mid-70s. I'll show you when that next rain chance might finally arrive. It's going to be a while though. All those details coming up.
And right now, steer clear traffic. Hey, check this out. We have a unique perspective that we rarely see. If you're away from your TV, come over and look right now. TDOT has their camera positioned at I-65, I-40 split. This is just south of downtown. And it's showing us the Adventure Science Center in the background. And we just thought it was so cool this morning. It's changing colors, so as you drive through, you get a little light show to kick off your Monday morning. Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Your time is 5:14. On Fox News just yesterday, Fox News Sunday, Vice Presidential candidate Tim Walz talked about the false statements that he's made in the past, specifically some of them on the campaign trail, and he acknowledged on the debate stage. Let's listen.
They know, and I'm very proud of my 24 years in service and my record. I have never disparaged someone else in this, but I know that's not what Donald Trump does. They disparage everyone, the personal attacks. I will own up when I misspeak. I will own up when I make a mistake. But to deny what
Well, his remarks do come after he responded to questions surrounding his past false statements during the vice presidential debate that was last week on Tuesday.
Yeah, now in the past, he claimed that he was present during the Tiananmen Square protest in 1989, which was later proven to be false after public evidence showed that he was not in China at the time. And even when he addressed it during the debate, didn't really answer the question with regards to why that wasn't true. Of course, the stolen valor issue with regards to what he did or didn't do during his service, another issue.
Meanwhile, former President Donald Trump once again speaking at a campaign rally over in Wisconsin, encouraging people to go ahead and vote, making a prediction about elections. Go ahead and listen.
I think it's very severe, but I can understand it. Some people say you'll never have an election again. This would be your last election. And I can see it.
Well, Trump has previously casted doubts about the election results. By the way, as we mentioned earlier, today is Tennessee's voter registration deadline.
Well, we're tracking Milton right now, and Florida is beginning what could be its largest evacuation effort since 2017. Officials are urging people to get out of Florida ahead of Hurricane Milton.
Yeah, now more than 15 million people are under flood watches. Amy Kiley has this report.
I have the state emergency response team preparing for the largest evacuation that we have seen, most likely since 2017 Hurricane Irma.
Floridians are bracing for the second major hurricane in less than 2 weeks. Forecasters predict Milton will make landfall Wednesday and then plow across most of the state. Officials are issuing both mandatory and voluntary evacuation orders for at-risk areas.
I urge Floridians to finalize your storm preparations now, enact your plan. I highly encourage you to evacuate.
The National Hurricane Center warns flooding could threaten millions of residents. Some are preparing with sandbags.
We got kind of damaged Hurricane Ian, so just make sure that we get a little bit more precautious, making sure all the sandbags are at our doorstep garage.
I think we're just going to put sandbags in our back porch. We're going to get like groceries later and stuff in case it's really bad.
Milton's timing could be dangerous. In some areas, the ground is already saturated from Hurricane Helene, and cleanup from that storm continues.
One of the things that we did was make sure that all disaster debris management sites that were impacted by Hurricane Helene, that they remain open 24/7 for drop-off.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Well, we've been listening to a lot of forecasters down in Florida who think Milton will make landfall as a Category 3 and then move toward the eastern coast across the state of Florida, taking out perhaps a very large section of that state in its path. We've got so many friends who are down. I know you do.
Yes.
And we've got friends and family down there, and a lot of them have said they're not leaving because they've said, where are we going to go?
I mean, that's a good point. We're going to check in now with our Code Red meteorologist, but pointing out that the largest evacuation effort since 2017, I was there, I covered this one
back in 2017.
But to your point, Jen, talking about where they're going to go, I saw that forecasters were saying you don't necessarily have to evacuate, but you need to get out of the zone where you're going to see that surge.
The high tide.
Yeah, so if you can't go far, just think of getting at least a couple of miles away from that.
We have some friends who live on the eastern coast of Florida, so like West Palm Beach area. They were going to try to ride it out, and they said now they're heading to upward, just north to the coast.
And I know
South
some
Carolina.
folks like to go to Disney World, but Disney World might be closed too.
No.
Okay, so
right, absolutely.
Yeah, and obviously it could bring some heavy rainfall. I'll show you all that map here in just a second of some of the forecasted rainfall totals. I'll show you, started out though with Hurricane Milton just spinning down here in the southwestern part of the Gulf of Mexico. It's already a Category 2 hurricane, maximum winds at 100 miles per hour right now. The current track has it kind of moving off on that northeasterly track through the Gulf of Mexico and then making landfall, and it could strengthen to a Category 4 hurricane as early as tomorrow. That's going to put it at winds of about 145 miles per hour, so a major hurricane at that point. Once it gets closer to making landfall, I think it will weaken up just a little bit, coming in as a Category 3 hurricane with maximum winds probably around 120 miles per hour or so. And then obviously as it moves over the land, it's going to run out of steam a little bit, but still a Category 1 as it pushes over the rest of Florida. Forecast rainfall totals have this about 5 to 10 inches across a good portion of Florida. Obviously areas along the coast might get a little bit more over here in the purple. That's where you get closer to that 10-inch number. Also over here along the Gulf Coast as well, but a lot of rainfall could be happening here in Florida over the next several days, and obviously a lot of that because of Milton. So here's Milton spinning on future track. It'll just keep it going up on that northeasterly track, and notice back up to the north of here, there is nothing going on. It is all calm and quiet for us, and it's going to stay that way for the rest of this week, and I think even the following week. We keep it dry and maybe even a couple of days into the following week after that. So a nice long dry stretch for us, but here's Milton, 7 a.m. still out in the Gulf of Mexico, making landfall later on in the day on Wednesday, and then pushing up on that northeasterly track. It's going to bring some heavier rainfall too, potentially right there to the South Carolina coast before it continues to push off into the Atlantic Ocean. So very calm weather for us though north of Milton. Temperatures for today should be in the lower 70s. We'll get plenty of sunshine too. So temperatures for this afternoon in the low to mid 70s. 76 are high temperature. 76 on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We warm up just a little bit. We'll get to the upper 70s Wednesday through Friday, still staying sunny and dry. Saturday and Sunday were sunny, dry, and a little bit warmer too. Highs will be in the lower 80s. That's going to put us back above normal for this time of year. Overnight low temperatures are going to be a little bit on the cool side too. We'll have those at near 50 for the next several nights.
All right, steer clear traffic right now. 520 I-40 at White Bridge Road, looking good here. Nice and quiet. We got a couple of truckers sleeping off on that big wide shoulder there. No traffic issues here. The only thing we're really watching this morning would be that I-65 I-40 West interchange where we've got some construction that's cleaning up, and we've got a car off on the shoulder along I-40 near I-24. So really good news here overall. No crashes, nothing to get in your way. We'll get another check of steer clear traffic in about 5 minutes.
Right now, though, in consumer news, a shortened strike at many U.S. ports could still lead to shipping delays on some products. Just depends what we're talking about here. We do know union members with the International Longshoremen's Association ended their 3-day strike last week after reaching a tentative deal that does need to be formalized by January 15th. So they have some time here. As workers head back to the ports, some business experts say it's going to take 5 days of recovery for every day of the shutdown. Meanwhile, Everstream Analytics says the ports will likely need 3 weeks to go ahead and return to their normal operations.
Community leaders want to know how Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell is going to implement, for starters, his move how you choose how you move transit. Good morning. Welcome back into Fox 17 News this morning. 524 is the time. The group Nashville Organized for Action and Hope, it's also known as NOAA, hosts a public meeting with Mayor Freddie O'Connell, and it's called Move Toward Equity. We were there for that meeting. Advocacy groups coming together over the weekend, asking the mayor some questions about this proposed Choose How You Move transit overhaul plan. They also talked about things like police oversight and affordable housing.
The mayor's plan requires public approval through a ballot question in November. There is support for the plan among these groups, but they want to offset the sales tax hike, which would then help pay for the plan, with either reducing or getting rid of the grocery tax. Mayor Freddie O'Connell not making any promises, though. Listen here.
I think its success increases the probability that we could reduce further the impact on groceries simply because we would not have nearly as much pressure on our operating budget and general fund with property tax revenue.
The mayor's $3.1 billion transit plan would raise our sales tax by 0.5%. It would also put the city in debt, and there would be some other ways to try to help pay for it. We'll monitor this for you as we get closer to that issue on the November ballot.
Well, right now, though, we're talking about the volunteer spirit. The Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, they are stepping up, doing their part to clean up after Helene. Officers here in this video, they were helping out at the washed out roads. Look at this, right along the Nolichucky River. Vehicles, you can see, just buried in this mud after the floodwaters swept them away. By the way, we talked about I-40. It is still closed over at the Tennessee-North Carolina state line, and there's no word as of right now as to when it is going to be reopening. But thank you for all of your hard work out there trying to help folks out. We're going to check in with our Code Red meteorologist. A beautiful Monday on tap, Brett.
Erica, a beautiful Monday for us, and really a beautiful week for us as we head through the next several days too. And it's a good thing that we got that rain from Helene. It was all beneficial rain for us right here in Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. It really helped improve our drought quite a bit. Most of us not even dealing with any drought. That shade of yellow, that's just abnormally dry conditions. Down south of Interstate 40, that area of tan, that's level 1 out of 4 drought. And then down here, there's that small little section near Interstate 65 that is in that level 2 out of 4 drought. But before Helene came, we were looking at level 2 and level 3 out of 4 drought across a lot of Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. And it's a good thing we got that rain, because now we could go a couple of weeks without any rain at all. It is a dry pattern that we're going to be in for the next several days. This is the October 12th through 16th precipitation outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, showing a better chance for below normal rainfall totals. And then for that following time, October 14th through the 20th, still a better chance for below normal rainfall amounts. So Saturday and Sunday, if you have any weekend plans, should be a great weekend for you. We are going to be a little bit warmer too. We'll warm up to above normal. Highs will be in the lower 80s. Plenty of sunshine for us though through the rest of this week and through the weekend.
Hey, we're going to do a quick check of your Steer Clear traffic update for you, showing you a little bit of a brake check east of Nashville. This is I-4.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning and welcome into Fox 17 News This Morning. Just about 5:30, the volunteer spirit and generosity across Middle Tennessee still alive and well. We're learning more about all the new donations that are heading to our East Tennessee families.
We love to see that, and preparing for the November election. If you want to cast your vote, today is the last day to register. We're going to talk about the ballot and all the races.
Good morning to you. Let's get straight to our top stories new this half hour. Operation Crime and Justice. We have a 15-year-old girl who has been shot and killed over the weekend. A witness telling police that somebody fired the shots in Smith Springs Park. Now, this is in the Percy Priest Lake area.
Metro Police say the victim, Genesis Gonzalez, was shot several times. She was rushed to the hospital, but police say did not survive. Police say they're still trying to track down the gunman. We're going to work on getting some more details for you.
Also new this morning, a man's body found in the Cumberland River overnight. Detectives say they're trying to identify that man, who they describe as a black man who looked to be in his 30s or 40s. We'll let you know just as soon as we get an update from crews.
And how about some good news this Monday morning? A week after Hurricane Helene left a catastrophic path of destruction over in East Tennessee, North Carolina, and Florida, we know thousands are still without power, running water, food, and desperate for supplies. But here's the good news. Middle Tennesseans are stepping up as always. And look at this. Nashville Superspeedway in Wilson County is opening their gates to serve as a primary donation drop-off location.
I think it's something that all of the SMI tracks should really get behind. It's a good opportunity to have people provide, give back to the community. We have the space for it, and I think it's a good thing. We should all do it.
Those donations collected at Nashville Super Speedway will be trucked over to Bristol Motor Speedway, which is now a distribution center for disaster relief in Northeast Tennessee. And from Bristol, those donations will then be funneled to the counties and the people in need. And my goodness, there is still immense need. We know the death toll at last count was 227, but hundreds of people are still missing, and these communities are just buried.
And talking about this same topic, we also know new this Monday morning, Robertson County, their sheriff's office, just blown away by the number of community donations headed over to East Tennessee.
Yeah, the sheriff there, Mike Van Dyke, saying on Facebook that the donations Friday stacked up to 7 tons. And the Robertson County Sheriff saying it's nothing short of remarkable. That 7 tons worth of items that you all have donated includes more than 10,000 bottles of water.
Wow. We also want to make sure you know that Fox 17 News is partnering with the Salvation Army and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcast Group, to help with Hurricane Helene relief efforts. So far, your generosity has helped us to raise more than $200,000.
Really incredible. And Sinclair, as we've been mentioning, and contributing an additional $50,000 to that. If you'd like to donate, still so many ways you can do that. If you've been on the fence about, how to help or what you would want to do, we can assure you through transparency that the money you donate through this fund goes directly toward buying water. We've got supply kits that are going to folks and food going straight to these disaster areas. You can scan that QR code right there on your screen. If you don't like to do that kind of a thing, just head to sinclaircares.com and you can make a donation on the website.
All right, let's check in with our favorite Code Red meteorologist. You like how I add the favorite in there?
Yeah, I like that. It's always a great time to be here with y'all too. But I want to talk about this map real quick too. 72 days, that is how many days now that we've had a temperature at 90 degrees or higher right here in Nashville. Yesterday, we hit 90, so it was a warm one yesterday, much cooler for us today though. We've now had 35 days where we're at 95 degrees or higher. So really a great day for us yesterday if you like the warmer weather, but now if you like the fall time weather, you're going to get that for these next couple of days. It's going to be a lot cooler. I think we'll have high temperatures a little bit later on today and tomorrow, topping out in the mid 70s. As far as any rain goes for us, none of that. Here's that cold front that moved through, dry and cooler air behind that. Down in Florida, they're already seeing some rain right now, and it's just expected to get more widespread and more intense as Milton starts to make its way a little bit closer to the Florida area. Temperatures right now, they're in the 50s and 60s for most locations. 61 Cookeville, Crossville, some of the lower spots on the map. Here in Nashville, we're at 65, 50s back out closer to the Tennessee River, so a little bit cooler over there behind that front. Temperatures for later on today should be in the low to mid 70s. We'll get plenty of sunshine. We're going to stay dry too. And then high temperatures back to the upper 70s Wednesday through Friday, lower 80s Saturday and Sunday.
It's a good patio day, I think. Lots of sunshine out there. Hey, we're going to check in now for another Steer Clear traffic update. We're going to take you to this spot. This is I-65, Vietnam Vets Boulevard. You can see for yourself, no issues out there. Also, keep in mind, if you're heading into Nashville, metro schools, they're not in session. They are going to be on fall break. So you might notice a little bit less traffic. That's some good news there. We'll continue sharing all of your Steer Clear traffic updates, but right now, not seeing any kind of issues that we need to bring to your attention.
Your voice, your vote. And after Helene has devastated parts of East Tennessee, a lot of folks are wondering what it's going to take to make sure everyone can vote in the upcoming election.
And today is an important deadline. Fox 17 News' Madeline Nolan joining us live from our state capitol with some more information from the Secretary of State. So what is he saying, and good morning.
Good morning, and that's right. This fallout could really affect how people vote in person, early voting, or by mail. And again, Secretary of State Trey Hargett says they are working tirelessly to ensure that this does not turn away voters there in the affected areas. And this does come after he toured the 6 counties most affected there in East Tennessee. Now, he says the Department of Safety, along with FEMA, are working to help out those who may have lost their license in the storm. But they're also working with the U.S. Postal Service, who has been trying to get back up and operational in the affected areas.
We were just in Greene County, where the Greene County administrator was praising the work of the United States Postal Service. They've really stepped up, and there's a lot of effort to make sure that people have the opportunity to get their ballot. Certainly, if their ballot's spoiled, there's legally a mechanism to be able to get them a new one. And if people didn't get their absentee ballot but want to show up and vote on election day, or they're already voting, we can get their provisional ballot as well. So they're not going to be able to vote twice, but we could certainly get their provisional ballot. They'll be counted if their absentee ballot's not received.
Also, today is the last day to register to vote if you do want to take part in this year's presidential election, as well as some state elections. The Secretary of State says it has never been easier to register to vote, and today is again a great day to double check to see if you are registered before the election comes. Now, live here outside of the state capitol, I'm Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Madeline, thank you. Hey, Hurricane Milton also impacting the Nashville Predators. It's not just folks from Florida. We're going to tell you why their final preseason game is not going to be happening.
We've got a Nashville group bringing clean water, showers to people who are still waiting on running water. The impact in such a positive way that they're making for our friends in North Carolina.
Injured in a car crash? The Ponce Crash Cam Network has tapped into traffic cameras in Middle Tennessee, often giving us the proof needed to win your case. So call Ponce Law today, 615-244-4321.
Imagine a financial firm where the client is more than just a number. That's how we do business here at Stifel. Since 1890, we've been crafting personalized financial strategies tailored to our clients. Whether you're planning for retirement, saving for education, or preparing your financial legacy. We listen, we understand, and we act. Discover how our tradition of personal service can help you work towards your goals. Call 615-277-8805 or visit us here in Nashville.
Stifel, where success meets success.
All law firms are not the same. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
I'm Jonathan Lawson. If you're 50 to 85, please listen closely. The lock I want to talk to you about isn't the one on your door. It's a rate lock for your life insurance that guarantees that once you're insured, your rate can never go up at any time for any reason. Many policies you see don't have one, but you can get a lifetime rate lock from Colonial Penn. This plan was
A family in Greenville, Tennessee. They're saying it could be another month before they get clean water.
Wow. So we do have some information about how you can help this organization too. Go to our website, fox17.com, and search Shower Up. What's up, Brett?
Hey, it's going to be good weather if y'all have any sort of outdoor plans. I'd love to get outside a little bit later on today. Mid-70s if you like the fall time weather for today and tomorrow, going to be great. We are going to warm up a little bit later on this week, but as it stands right now, plenty of sunshine, temperatures around the mid-70s. That's where we'll top out at later on this afternoon. If you want to do any grilling once you get off work, great weather for that too. We will be dry and sunny at 6 p.m. Clear skies for us as we go through the night. Temperatures around the mid-60s. And then looking ahead to this upcoming weekend, I think it's going to be a really good one for us. A beautiful weekend. We'll get plenty of sunshine. We're also going to be warmer than normal too, with high temperatures in the lower 80s.
Steer clear traffic right now. 5:42 is the time. We have a live look. I-24 at Sam Ridley Parkway in Smyrna. No problems on your commute this morning coming in from that part of town, so that's great news. Really crash free as we speak. No major issues. I do want to check one thing over by the airport just real quick. I see something that just popped. It looks like just a backup. So if you're heading over to the airport this morning, just know there's a backup getting off I-40.
It might be all the folks who are heading out for fall break, so enjoy. Hey, coming up, let's talk about the SEC finding Vanderbilt University after storm. Well, making headlines, we're talking about Vanderbilt taking down #1 ranked Alabama in Music City over the weekend. I mean, how could you miss this story?
It's huge. Nick Saban had to eat his words.
Ooh,
didn't he?
Talk about it, Jen.
Oh my gosh. Listen, it was a lot of fun to be here in Nashville and to be a part of this. I feel like we all were. Even if you aren't a Vanderbilt fan, I feel like a lot of people just like to hate on Bama. So here we are, that historic upset leading to the student section rushing the field. They take down the goalpost. They run them all the way to the Cumberland River.
Let's check in now, though, with Fox 17 News' Johnny Maffey. Johnny, where can I get a piece of that goalpost? I got a Christmas present, and I might just want to give somebody a goalpost, you know?
Yeah, well, it's not Halloween yet, but I guess it's never too early. They are selling the goalposts right now. They're auctioning them off online, and you better get to it quick, Erica, because they're selling the uprights and the crossbar. The uprights already sold out. Those were going for over $1,000 a piece right after the goalposts ended up in the river here. The fire department then took them out. They're now with Vandy and the crossbar, like I mentioned. 8-inch pieces of the crossbar online right now. I'm looking at the website as we speak. 18 of them left. They're going for more than $4,000 a piece, and this is all, of course, iconic celebrations after historic upsets, right, guys? So they stormed the field at First Bank Stadium, walked it all down, and we're seeing some video right here of it all. after, again, just they took down #1 Alabama this weekend, and Alabama now ranked #7 in the country. And with a field rush, with the students storming the field, well, that comes a fine from the conference. So the officers, they escorted the student section down Broadway, and for rushing the field, the SEC fined Vanderbilt $100,000. And it wasn't the only upset this weekend. #4 Tennessee got taken down by unranked Arkansas, and Arkansas students stormed the field, and that school got fined $250,000. So a lot of chaos, a lot of upsets in the college football world, especially regarding the Volunteer State this weekend. Now coming up, so Bama got pushed down to 7. Tennessee got pushed down to #8 in the country in the AP poll. Those two teams facing off the third Saturday of October in Knoxville. Texas, they moved up to #1, taking Bama's spot, and then they will be coming here in a few weeks on Saturday, October 26th, after a few tough matchups against Oklahoma and against Georgia. We'll be looking at things all morning long, showing you some of the iconic celebrations here from Broadway and the Cumberland. But now I'll send it back to the studio.
Johnny, thank you. Right now, we have talked about Floridians bracing for Hurricane Milton, sharing what they expect from the storm.
CNN's Emily McLeod with that update this morning.
Sandbag sites in Seminole County were open on Sunday. In Winter Springs, Nate Dorr says they're taking extra steps this time around.
We got kind of damaged Hurricane Ian, so just make sure that we get a little bit more cautious, making sure all the sandbags are at our doorstep garage, and that's the most preparation we're going to do.
Valerie Newhouse was also at Central Winds Park on Sunday preparing for Milton's arrival.
So even just with a little bit of rain, our windows kind of flood a little bit. So we're just preparing for the worst, especially because it was like a Cat 2 yesterday, I think, in the morning, and then it was a Cat 3. So living in Florida all my life, everything changes really quickly. So got to be prepared.
And over in Altamont Springs, people were picking up sandbags at Eastmont Park. Liam was out helping his mom on Sunday and says picking up extra groceries is also on their storm prep checklist.
I think we're just going to put sandbags in our back porch because it's going to flood anyways, but we're just doing it to help out our grandma. But we're going to get groceries later and stuff in case it's really bad.
John Horton Rutledge says they've never done sandbags until they realized their backyard floods.
So now we are going to prepare, and then we're getting our mother also. Our mother-in-law is going to go down and fill her up too.
All right, 5:50. A couple of things real quick. So now a Category 2.
Correct.
All right. Also worth noting, this is fall break week for a lot of mid-state families who are either on their way to Florida or already there.
Or canceling.
And
early, yeah.
So if you're still waking up with us here and maybe you've got flights coming out today, tomorrow, even Wednesday, just please be thinking ahead. Disney has come out and said they're operating regularly now, but they will turn on that in a moment if they have to.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. This is getting to be a kind of strong hurricane already.
Yeah.
Like you said, Category 2, maximum winds at 100 miles per hour. So we'll definitely be keeping our eye on it, but it could even strengthen more as we head into these next couple of days. And by tomorrow, I think we'll be talking about a potentially Category 4 hurricane with winds about 145 miles an hour. I'll show you that here in a second. Right now, though, again, 100-mile-an-hour winds. This is down here in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. That's Hurricane Milton. National Hurricane Center now has that moving on that easterly and northeasterly track as we head through the next few days. It should be making landfall by late Wednesday around a Category 2 hurricane or so. But here's what I'm talking about. So moving on into early Tuesday morning, this could strengthen into a Category 4 hurricane. Maximum winds by Tuesday afternoon. The latest forecast has it about 145 miles per hour. So it's going to bring strong winds to Florida. It's also going to bring in some heavy rain too. We could be getting about 5 to 10 inches of rain wherever you see these reds and purples popping up. So quite a bit of rain. Obviously that will depend on the exact track of Milton. But for us, it is going to be all calm. We're going to be well to the north of Milton, and we have beautiful weather here across Tennessee and Kentucky. Mid-70s for us today and tomorrow, upper 70s Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, lower 80s Saturday and Sunday.
Brett, thank you very much. 5:52 is your time right now. Let's get a check of steer and clear traffic. This is a live look, I-24 at Shelby Avenue. This is right over by Nissan Stadium. And yes, we're starting to see more volume, but no, we do not have any crashes. That's the great news. Really, the only thing we're keeping an eye on this morning is a construction zone not far from this location, I-65 at I-40, and a little backup over by the airport. Remember, it is the busiest time of the season, starting now with fall break. We'll get another check in a few minutes. And a warning this morning on a fall favorite. Concerns about... Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning, 5:55, and a live look on Lower Broadway, aka where history was made over the weekend. Thousands of people took the uprights from Vanderbilt's football stadium, walked it 3 miles straight down Broadway, and put it in the river. Now, it's since been recovered, and they're auctioning off pieces of the upright to support Vanderbilt athletics. If you want to find out more about that, we'll be telling you about it live through 9 a.m. Also, just looking ahead here, speaking of Broadway, we've got Bridgestone Arena. We have 21 Pilots coming up this week. We have Maggie Rogers, the Don't Forget Me tour, just to name a couple.
I don't know either of those. Okay, let's talk about a story that concerns you health-wise. Some say before you take a sip of apple cider this fall, go ahead and keep some things in mind. U.S. health officials are now reminding people that unpasteurized apple cider may contain harmful bacteria that could make folks sick. Most juices sold here in the U.S. are required to go ahead and be pasteurized, meaning the juice has to have been heated to kill the harmful bacteria. Although the U.S. Food and Drug Administration requires packaged unpasteurized juices to have a label warning of the possible bacteria, juices sold by the glass at a farmer's market or like a roadside place, they're not required to have that same warning.
All right, so if you are concerned, health officials say you can pasteurize the juice at home by heating it to 158 degrees Fahrenheit for about 1 minute. You can also just talk to the vendor where you bought it to find out whether they took care of that on their own. Man, we always like to have the little debate. Do you go for the fall apple cider or pumpkin spice?
Apple cider.
I prefer apple cider too. All right, hey, get this. Really something to see here this morning. Balloons taking to the skies of New Mexico for the 52nd annual Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. And this year, they've got 106 balloons in all kinds of shapes and sizes. The festival lasts 9 days. I've been lucky enough to see this in person.
Have?
Yeah, when we lived out in Arizona, we took the kids, got to see this. Our own Code Red meteorologist, Brett Luna, can say the same. Although, Brett, I think you've had a better view of it than we did, being out there for so long.
Yeah, I lived out there for 4 years, and if you haven't been out to Balloon Fiesta, it's one of the most amazing things I've seen. It's beautiful, and then you see the sunrise coming up over the mountains, and then the balloons start taking off right before that. It's just incredible. It's
like something from a movie scene, honestly.
It really is. It is so much fun, and great food out there, too. Really good food. Yeah, great time out there at Balloon Fiesta always. Right now, I want to talk about the drought here that we have in Middle Tennessee because it's improved significantly with that rainfall that we got with Helene. Just abnormally dry conditions in yellow, so that's good. Right now, it's still just that level 1 and level 2 drought down a little bit further south, so much better than what we were seeing. And good thing that we got all that rain because now it is going to be a dry pattern for at least the next couple of weeks. Climate Prediction Center giving us for October 12th through 16th a better chance than drier than normal conditions. And then for that next time frame, October 14th through the 20th, still a better chance for below normal rainfall amounts. This weekend, if you have any outdoor plans, should be a great one for you. Plenty of sunshine and warmer with highs in the lower 80s.
All right, Brett, thank you so much for that Monday forecast. 5:58 is the time, so let's do a quick check of your Steer Clear traffic update and head over to the airport once again. You can see there is a bit of a brake check for folks who are getting off that exit, heading into the airport there. This is I-40 Donaldson Pike, right near the airport. So just give yourself some extra time if you're heading there to pick someone up. Maybe you're catching a flight. You could see a little bit of a backup.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
And good morning to you right now on Fox 17 News This Morning. We have a teenager wanted for questioning after a man is killed at a treatment center.
And we also know a 10-year-old has died. Police say a car ran into her electric scooter on Nolensville Pike. We're going to have a closer look at the vehicle that police believe might be involved.
Plus, today is an important day. It's the last day to register to vote in Tennessee before the November election. We've got the state and local races on the ballot as well.
Just about 6 o'clock. Welcome to Fox 17 News on a Monday morning. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Glad to be here with you to kick off our 6 o'clock hour. We begin with Operation Crime and Justice. We have a teenager wanted for questioning who you see right here behind us. This is after a deadly shooting that happened outside of a treatment center in South Nashville.
And now Metro Police say Saturday, a 19-year-old, that's how old he is, Malik Turrentine is his name, was involved with a fight at the South Nashville treatment facility. And that's when police say he was asked to leave. But police then say he returned Sunday to be turned away again, and that's when a fight happened. Police say there was a deadly shooting on Sunday. Now they're trying to track down that man. They also say that a 44-year-old was killed.
Police right now looking for more information regarding Turrentine, the teenager, although they have not gone so far as to say he pulled the trigger. So as soon as we get any updates for you, we'll bring him to you.
We think he may be armed. We can't rule out the possibility that he's armed.
Now, Metro Police say if you recognize the person behind us, maybe you have some information, to go ahead and call Crime Stoppers. That number is 615-742-7463.
And now to an overnight update as a 10-year-old little girl has died after a hit and run on Nolensville Pike over the weekend. Metro Police say her mom is in critical condition. Officers still looking for this red Nissan, possibly connected to the crash, along with whoever was behind the wheel. And we can kind of get a glimpse of the person right there. We know that little girl was riding her scooter with her mom in the bike lane on Nolensville Pike Saturday. And this red Nissan that they're looking for right now would have front end damage, a broken headlight, and they say it has temporary tags. So please call Crime Stoppers if you've seen this car.
Your voice, your vote. If you're looking to vote in the upcoming presidential election, today is the last day to go ahead and get registered.
Fox 17 News reporter Madeline Nolan joining us live this morning to tell us everything you need to know to make sure you're ready for that November election.
Oh, absolutely. The Secretary of State says that it is very important to check to see if you are registered. That is crucial, he says. But if you are not, again, today is the last day to get registered to vote if you want to participate in the November 5th election. Now, you can check on your status by visiting govotetn.gov or download the GoVoteTN app. Once in the app, you'll be able to check your status as well as register from the app, or you can visit your local county commissioner's office to drop off an application in person. Now, you can also mail in an application. It just needs to be postmarked by today, October 7th. Secretary Trey Hargett says that now is a very important time to check to see if you're registered so you don't get an unwelcome surprise when you try to cast your ballot.
Obviously there's a large influx of vote registrations this time of year. Better safe than sorry if you want to confirm that, but if you don't see it active by, Monday, then I would certainly encourage you to go ahead and contact the Davidson County Election Commission.
Now, Hargett says that if you recently got married or moved, you'll also need to update your name as well as your address by today as well. The Secretary of State says that early voting here in Tennessee is very robust, given the fact that October 16th is when that in-person early voting period begins and will end on October 31st. But again, that will make sure that you can skip those lines for Election Day. For now, live here in Nashville, I'm Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, it was a warm day for us here in Nashville yesterday. We hit 90 degrees, and that's why I'm showing this map right here. That's now makes 72 days here in Nashville where we've had a temperature at 90 degrees or higher. 95 degrees days, we've had 35 of those. So overall, a warm day yesterday. A cold front moved through, and it has really dropped us down, though, for today. And it's really going to feel like fall today, and for the next couple of days, we will be cooler, too, as we go through the next several days as well. So beautiful weather will continue to move on in. Here's that cold front that I was talking about. Drier and cooler air behind that. And then down here in Florida, they're already seeing a little bit of rain going on right now, but it's about to get a lot heavier and more widespread as Hurricane Milton begins to work its way a little bit closer to that area. Current temperatures this morning, 50s and 60s. We have some mid to upper 50s back closer to the Tennessee River, 54 in Clarksville, 63 here in Nashville, and 57 over in Crossville. So temperatures not too bad this morning for us. We will warm up a little bit more than that later on today, but in the lower 70s through the afternoon hours. And then your 7-day forecast still looking really nice too. Mid 70s for today and tomorrow. Upper 70s Wednesday through Friday. Saturday and Sunday will be sunny and dry with highs in the lower 80s. Overnight low temperatures at near 50.
All right, 6:04, so let's do a quick check of your Steer Clear traffic update this Monday morning and take you here to I-440. This is the I-65 junction. This is Berry Hill. You can see we don't have any crashes. There's not a lot of folks out there right now. No vehicles pulled over on the shoulder. So we are going to give you the green light for this area. Again, this is I-440 at the I-65 junction.
Today is Monday, October 7th, and so it marks 1 year since the Hamas attack on Israel. That attack killing more than 1,000 Israelis at a music festival, 250 people taken as hostages.
Many of them are still captive. Now Israel is striking back at Hamas. The war in Gaza has killed more than 41,000 Palestinians and also created a humanitarian crisis.
We also know that Israel is really ramping up its attacks on the militant group Hezbollah in Lebanon, which has been trading fire along the border since the start of the war. Now, as we take a look at some of the newest video coming in this morning, Lebanese officials say about 2,000 people so far have been killed, and Israeli forces continue to drop airstrikes in the capital of Beirut.
Yesterday, the Israeli military issued plans to expand its operation in northern Gaza and increase its forces along Lebanon's border.
Back here at home, Vandy fans are still celebrating. Heck, even people who aren't Vandy fans are celebrating. We're going to talk about that historic win over Alabama.
6:08 is the time, and right now we're going to be talking about the Vanderbilt Commodores making history this weekend, upsetting #1 ranked Alabama right here in Nashville. So the students, of course, they celebrated by tearing down the goalpost and then marching down Broadway over to the Cumberland River. So where did the goalpost end up, and where can I get it now? We're going to get that information from Fox 17 News' Johnny Maffey. I know, Johnny, we were tweeting over the weekend on Saturday because you were talking about how this could be an upset. I don't know how you knew this. We were talking about this on Friday.
Yeah, well, I didn't necessarily call it, but I knew there was a chance. Diego Pavia, the Vanderbilt quarterback, certainly put on a show along with the rest of the team. Big team win for the Commodores, and historic wins call for iconic celebrations. So this is the site right here along the river where, yeah, you could have used this and kicked a little extra point or field goal, but then the goalposts ended up in the water. They got here thanks to a little bit of help from a police escort for the student section, and then now, yes, they ended up back in the hands of Vanderbilt, and you can buy a part of history. Vanderbilt posting late last night around 10 o'clock. They can auction off the goalposts and the uprights for it. Well, those are going for about $4,000. You can see the students taking down everything right here and marching down Broadway. Now, the slices of the crossbar, those are not sold out. Those at last check going for around $4,000 on those bidding sites that we did tweet out this morning. Now, it was a Crimson Tide crowd at First Bank Stadium, but that didn't stop quarterback Diego Pavia and the Doors from putting 40 points up on the #1 team in the country, knocking Alabama down to #7. In the field rush, well, it did cost Vanderbilt a $100,000 fine from the SEC, and that is one of the SEC rules. Now, it wasn't the only upset for a Tennessee team this week. #4 Tennessee Vols were on the bad end of an upset, losing to unranked Arkansas, and Arkansas did get fined by the SEC $250,000. That was for the second offense. Now, a lot of shakeup, a lot of chaos this weekend. So Alabama got pushed down to #7. The Volunteers got pushed down to #8. They have a big matchup the 3rd Saturday of October in Knoxville. And Bama, moving out of the #1 spot, moved Texas up. Texas has a couple big matchups we'll talk about soon this morning, but they do come to town. They're coming to Nashville October 26th, so Vanderbilt could have another shot at another #1 ranked team, but a lot's going to happen. A lot of big college football matchups ahead this October, and we'll certainly be following it closely here at Fox Nashville. Live on the Cumberland River, Johnny Maffey, guys, back to you.
All right, Johnny, thank you. We're not even going to talk about the Vols and the weekend game, okay? We're not going to go there. But we are going to talk about this over on our Fox Nashville X account. We always want to hear from you all. Do you think Vanderbilt fans should have been stopped for marching down Broadway with a goalpost? As of right now, an overwhelming amount of you all say no, they should not have been stopped. But you can let us know what you think by heading on over to our Fox Nashville X account. We also have a good news update on this Monday morning. There is a 2-month-old from Murfreesboro right here on your screen showing you a photo that has now been found safe after an Amber Alert was issued over the weekend. It was a big story. The TBI says that Truth Claybrooks was found in Nashville. His mom and aunt were also located. We're going to keep you updated on this story as soon as we get some more details about the situation. Right now, though, let's check in with our Code Red meteorologist.
Erica, we're off to a beautiful start this Monday morning, and we have really nice weather. I love that shot right there. The lights reflecting off the Cumberland. Just beautiful weather this morning. Nothing to worry about down south, though, with Hurricane Milton. That is going to be a different story. I'll have more details on Milton, too, coming up here in a little bit.
Also looking pretty good is your circular traffic update on this Monday morning. North of Nashville, I-65 at Trinity Lane.
Good morning and welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. 6:14 is your time. There's been a lot of criticism over the way the federal government has handled the response to Helene, specifically in places like North Carolina and even East Tennessee. Well, now you can add billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk to the list of people criticizing the government, saying 2 federal agencies mishandled his Starlink services, which provide aid to flood victims in the way of connectivity to the internet.
So we do understand that he is criticizing the FCC and FEMA for decision making about Starlink, which does provide internet access from space. We've talked about that. Musk claimed that the FCC illegally revoked a Starlink grant that could have left folks over in North Carolina to have more than 19,500 Starlink kits.
He also slammed FEMA, saying that it blocked shipments of Starlink satellites to the state. Later said the problem has since been resolved. You know, in a fast-growing city like Nashville, it's kind of hard to put your finger on the pulse of what matters most to the community as the demographics, if you will, continue to change.
The citywide initiative Imagine Nashville is spending more than a year chasing that research, trying to ask people questions, get some feelers out there. Now their findings have been presented to the city. Megan O'Halloran sharing this update.
Who makes up this vibrant city that's been evolving year after year? How do you put a name and a face on that exploding growth? And more importantly, what do they want from Nashville, the city they call home? The local community-led initiative Imagine Nashville got deeply curious and wanted to find out. So the panel put their heads down for over 14 months, talking to 10,000 residents across every corner of the city.
We went to every zip code. We spoke to young people as young as 12. We had over nearly 800 people between 12 and 18. We spoke to older Nashvillians. We spoke to lifelong Nashvillians. We spoke to newer Nashvillians. We spoke to every socioeconomic strata. We spoke to every other demographic you can imagine.
After reviewing the interviews, the polling, the data, the surveys, and the research, the group compiled all the residents' hopes and dreams for the city it calls home and met with subject matter experts to prioritize the city's values. And here's what Nashville said. The people want thriving neighborhoods, attainable housing, improved mobility and transit, opportunities through education and training, and better managed growth.
I think they're spot on, and I think you can't miss having spoken to 10,000 representatives across the city. And so I think that transit priority is top of the list there, and especially the information about the children and their needs and homelessness and all of those things I think are just spot on. And so I'm excited to see what the city does with this research.
The findings were presented in a final report Friday, along with the actionable recommendations to the city in a roundtable discussion, giving a laser focus for city leaders, nonprofits, philanthropists, employers, and neighborhood groups to know what the city says matters to them most.
We're talking about Hurricane Helene and the cleanup efforts. TWRA sharing their efforts to really help with this process. Look at this video from them. They were helping out with the washed out roads right along the Nolichucky River where vehicles, you can see in this, look at this. The vehicles were just submerged in that mud, making it really impossible to get them out of there.
Yeah, there's a town right there on the Nolichucky River called Chucky, and Helene washed out both bridges in and out of the town. So they've been trying to construct some makeshift ways to get in and out.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, I-40 does remain closed over at the Tennessee-North Carolina state line.
All right, so from Helene to Milton, we have a breaking news update right now with regards to Hurricane Milton. It has just intensified to a Category 3 hurricane. This is a live look from Fort Myers right now. You can see cloudy conditions and rain dotting the camera here. Not seeing a whole lot in the way of surf or anything like that, but definitely something we're monitoring. You got to wonder, Erica, as we take this live look from the bridge here in Fort Myers, how many of those people are evacuating versus how many of those people are just going about their normal day-to-day routine? And there are a lot of folks in Florida right now who have said they do not plan to evacuate, even though that's the recommendation.
Yeah, I've been following a lot of my friends in Florida who say they were busy, you know, going to Costco, getting gas, getting all the medications, trying to stock up as much as possible.
Brett?
You know,
here we go.
What's that?
I said, here we go.
Oh, I know. Here we go. We have another one. First, we had Helene move through. That was a strong one, obviously. We've seen what Helene left us with. And now we have Hurricane Milton, like you just said, strengthened to a Category 3 hurricane. Now, maximum winds at 120 miles per hour, and you can see it down there spinning in the southwestern part of the Gulf of Mexico. That is a Hurricane Milton getting stronger, and I think it's going to keep on getting stronger, too, as it continues on that easterly path through the rest of the Gulf of Mexico. So down here, you can see it right there, strengthening to about a Category 4 hurricane by Tuesday with maximum winds at 145 miles per hour. It'll stay strong as we head through Wednesday morning. Wednesday a little bit later on in the day, though. By Wednesday afternoon, once it gets closer to making landfall, I think it is going to weaken up, but really only a little bit. Still a Category 3 hurricane at that point with maximum winds at 125 miles per hour. And then obviously once that moves over the land, it is going to start to weaken as far as the winds go. But it's still going to leave this area with quite a bit of rainfall. This particular model right here bringing in about 5 to 10 inches of rain wherever you see these shades of red, these purples as well. So some of this area could deal with a significant amount of rainfall as Milton tracks over that area. So future track, really not anything to show you up here in our area. There's Milton, though, as it spins through the Gulf of Mexico, obviously bringing in some of that heavy rainfall. Just all dry, though, for us up here in Tennessee and Kentucky. We're not going to have to worry about anything. So beautiful weather for us. It is going to be active, though, down south here. If you have any plans to travel to Florida, just think about it, because Milton, you know, is moving that into that area around Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening should be making landfall. Mid-70s for us today and tomorrow, upper 80s or upper 70s for us Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. 78 on Wednesday, 78 again on Thursday, and then Saturday and Sunday we'll get plenty of sunshine. It is going to be warmer than normal too for us as we head through the weekend. Highs in the lower 80s Saturday and Sunday. Overnight low temperatures for these next several nights, they're going to be a little bit lower, down near 50.
Steer clear traffic time right now, Brett. Thank you very much. Hey, we got a backup, and it's at I-65 at Trinity Lane. No crash here reported right now, just a brake check. A lot of folks, this is that point where you're trying to merge into downtown Nashville from north of town. People get confused. They don't know which lane they're supposed to be in because the interstate splits off in two directions. So the good news here, no crash for all of our north side commuters. Just that standard little brake check as you come by Trinity Lane.
Well, talking about driving coming up, we're going to hear from more community leaders asking Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell everything you can think of, from transit to grocery prices.
A live look right now into the heart of downtown Nashville. In fact,
my house yet there's
Good morning. Time right now is 6:23. Welcome back into Fox 17 News this morning. Nice live look of the city here behind me. Let's talk about how Nashville is growing, and as the mayor would put it, how Nashville is moving. The group called Nashville Organized for Action and Hope, also known as NOAA, hosted a public meeting over the weekend with Mayor Freddie O'Connell. Advocacy groups coming together over the weekend to ask the mayor some questions about his proposed Choose How You Move transit overhaul plan. Not only that, but they wanted to talk with the mayor about police oversight and affordable housing. And there are a lot of people in these groups who are showing support for the mayor's transit plan, but it requires the public's approval through a ballot question coming up in November. And some of these supporters want to offset the sales tax hike that would help pay for all this. Offset that, they say, with either reducing or getting rid of the grocery tax. Mayor O'Connell seemed positive on that point, but didn't make any promises.
I think its success increases the probability that we could reduce further the impact on groceries, simply because we would not have nearly as much pressure on our operating budget and general fund with property tax revenue.
All right, but here's the deal. That sales tax hike, which is just 0.5%, is not the only way that they're going to have to pay for this plan if it gets approved. There would be that sales tax hike, some grant money, and the city would have to take on debt in order to pay for it. 6:25 is your time right now. It's Monday, I know, but it's never too early to look toward the weekend, right? Brett has left us our weekend outlook. Code Red meteorologist Brett Luna working behind the scenes right now on a couple of other projects, including the latest tracks on Hurricane Milton. So I'm going to give you that weekend outlook. Looking ahead for those of you who have fall break plans, beautiful weekend ahead, staying dry, nice and warm. We're looking at a high of 80 on Saturday and 82 on Sunday. And look at those overnight lows, 49 and 55 degrees. So beautiful weather on tap as we get through not just this week, but into the weekend. Steer clear traffic right now. We've been monitoring a couple of minor backups that are starting to accumulate around Nashville. This one is one of them. I-65 at Trinity Lane. This is just north of downtown, and this is all of our commuters starting to slowly filter into the city. Now, traffic overall may be a little bit lighter starting this week, because this week is when we have so many school districts taking fall break. And that will continue over the next 2 to 3 weeks, where we see the districts, off and on, taking their week off from school. We'll keep you posted here. Steer clear traffic, always live every few minutes through 9 a.m. A teenage girl killed in a Nashville park. Police right now searching for the shooter. And the Mid-State continues to provide hurricane relief. We'll tell you about all the groups that are heading out to East Tennessee right now.
Feels good to be home. The Ash Bash 72-hour super sale has incredible deals on all things home. Saturday through Monday, take up to 25% off your entire purchase, or get no interest for 60 months with $0 down. Only at Ashley.
What's wrong, Carlos?
Oh, hey. I just took my car in for a new battery, but I left with $1,800 in repairs.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Well, if you need cash for a few days, a flex loan from Tennessee Quick Cash is really affordable.
Go on.
Yep, $1,800 for 5 days would cost less than $70.
Hey, that's better than overdraft fees.
Exactly. High five.
Okay. This is. You can put me down. Yep. Okay.
Hey, team, come on in.
Hey, Peyton.
There's more food in the kitchen.
Where's Eli?
What? Eli? Eli, looks like we're running low on slider rolls.
Don't worry. I invited my team, too.
Your team?
Looks like Eli saved Slider Sunday.
Again.
Really? King's Hawaiian Slider Sunday.
The only way to Sunday.
At Hughes & Coleman, we've been winning big cases for over 30 years. Call 800-800-4600. We've taken on big insurance companies and powerful corporations.
Call 800-800-4600.
And we've gotten life-changing results for accident victims and for families who lost loved ones.
Call 800-800-4600.
So if you've been injured and you're ready to get serious, get Hughes & Coleman and get it done. Call Hughes & Coleman, 800-800-4600.
Arm & Hammer hardball litter. How hard is it? Crazy hard. No mess scoops.
Hey, you gotta check this out.
Amazing. I'm obsessed with humans on the internet.
It's the virtually indestructible clump. Hardball lightweight litter.
Download the Fox 17 Code Red weather app, alerting you to severe weather wherever you are.
Feels good to be home. The Ash Bash 72-hour super sale has incredible deals on all things home. Saturday through Monday, take up to 25% off your entire purchase, or get no interest for 60 months with $0 down. Only at Ashley.
Join Fox 17 News to help the Salvation Army continue to provide meals and assistance through Sinclair Cares Hurricane Helene Relief. Donate today.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Just about 6:30, and right now on Fox 17 News, the volunteer spirit and generosity across the Mid-State on display. We're getting some more information about the new donations headed to East Tennessee families.
And preparing for the November election. If you want to cast your vote, today is the last day to register.
We are going to get started, though, with Operation Crime and Justice. A 15-year-old girl was shot and killed. It happened on Saturday night.
A witness telling police that somebody fired in Smith Springs Park. This is in the Priest Lake area. Metro Police say that victim, Genesis Gonzalez, got shot several times rushed to the hospital but did not survive.
This Monday morning, police are still trying to track down who is responsible. As soon as we get some more details, we'll be sure to update that story.
Also new this morning, a man's body found in the Cumberland River overnight. Detectives say they're trying to identify this man, who they describe as a black man who looks to be in his 30s or 40s. That investigation continues right now. Any new updates that come in, we'll bring them to you here live through 9.
Let's talk about weather, though, because a week after Hurricane Helene left catastrophic path of destruction over in East Tennessee, North Carolina, and Florida, we know thousands are still without power, running water, food, and other supplies.
Yeah, but in the true volunteer spirit, Middle Tennesseans are stepping up. Nashville Super Speedway in Wilson County opening its gates to serve as a primary donation drop-off spot.
I think it's something that all of the SMI tracks should really get behind. It's a good opportunity to have people provide, give back to the community. We have the space for it, and I think it's a good thing. We should all do it.
Sure is a good thing. The donations collected at Nashville Super Speedway are going to be trucked to Bristol Motor Speedway, which is now a distribution center for disaster relief in Northeast Tennessee.
So from Bristol, those donations will be funneled to the counties and the people in need. And speaking of need, new this morning, Fox 17 News has learned Robertson County's Sheriff's Office is blown away by the number of community donations there that are now going to East Tennessee.
The sheriff writing on Facebook that they had 7 tons of donations, so nothing short of remarkable. That also includes, they said, 10,000 bottles of water.
And don't forget, Fox 17 News is partnering with the Salvation Army and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, to help Helene relief efforts. And so far, your generosity has helped us raise more than $200,000. And as we've been mentioning, Sinclair contributing an additional $50,000. You can scan the QR code on your screen or go to sinclaircares.com to make a donation.
6:32 is the time. We're going to check in now with our Code Red meteorologist.
Erica, we're off to a really nice start this morning. It's going to stay calm. It's going to be cooler for the next couple of days than what we had yesterday. Yesterday we hit 90 degrees. That was our high here in Nashville. So that now puts us at 72 days this year where we've hit 90 or higher. 35 days we've had 95 degrees or higher here in Nashville. Fall-like weather will continue for the next several days. It's going to feel really good for you, especially if you like it a little bit cooler these next couple of days. Behind that cold front, though, it left us with the cooler and drier air. South of that, though, in the parts of Florida, we have tropical storm watches, hurricane watches, some rain going on there right now, but it's about to get more widespread and heavier as we head into about Wednesday or Thursday as Hurricane Milton continues to move up. Temperatures right now, they're in the 50s and 60s. We're at 63 in Nashville, McMinnville at 59. Overall, not a bad start for us for this morning, not having to deal with any sort of thick fog or anything like that either. Temperatures for the rest of today, they should be in the lower 70s. It should be a good one for you throughout most of the afternoon. 76 is the high for today. 76 again on Tuesday, upper 70s for us Wednesday through Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday, we'll get plenty of sunshine and stay dry with highs in the lower 80s. Overnight low temperatures Monday night through really Saturday night almost should be near 50.
Right now, we're going to check in for your Steer Clear traffic update. We're going to take you over to Antioch. Here we go. This is I-24 at Bell Road, where we do not see any kind of issues at hand. I did mention earlier, but just in case you didn't hear that, Metro schools, they are off for their fall break. So you might notice a less heavily congested area depending on where you're going to be taking off this Monday morning. We'll continue sharing all of your Steer Clear traffic updates. So right now, not seeing any issues that we need to bring to your attention right now.
We got Sumner County off this week, Robertson County off.
Enjoy your break.
That's right. Enjoy it while it lasts. This morning, after Helene devastated parts of East Tennessee, we got a lot of folks wondering what it's going to take to make sure all those people impacted can still vote come November.
Yeah, it's a good question to ask. And Fox 17 News, Madeline Nolan getting those questions answered. She's joining us live from our state capitol with some information from the Secretary of State.
Yeah, good morning. This fallout could definitely affect those who are trying to vote in person early or, again, mail-in votes. Again, this is a huge fallout because of that devastation there in East Tennessee. But the Secretary of State says that they are working tirelessly to ensure that this does not prevent voters from coming in and voting. Now, this comes after the Secretary of State, Trey Hargett, toured the 6 counties most affected there in East Tennessee. He says the Department of Safety, along with FEMA, are working to help out those who have may lost their license in the storm, but they're also working with the U.S. Postal Service, who has been trying to get back up and operational in the affected areas.
We were just in Greene County, where the Greene County administrator was praising the work United States Postal Service. They've really stepped up, and there's a lot of effort to make sure that people have the opportunity to get their ballot. Certainly, if their ballot's spoiled, there's legally a mechanism to be able to get them a new one. And if people didn't get their absentee ballot but want to show up and vote on election day or they're already voting, we can get their provisional ballot as well. So they're not going to be able to vote twice, but we can certainly get their provisional ballot. They'll be counted if their absentee ballot's not received.
Also, today is the last day to register to vote if you want to take part in this year's presidential election. There will also be local as well as state races. Now, the Secretary of State says that it has never been easier to register to vote here in Tennessee, and it's also a great day to double check to see if you are registered, and you can do that by going on to the app or the website at govotetn.gov. For now, live outside of the state capitol, I'm Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Madeline, thank you. 6:36 is your time right now, and Hurricane Milton impacting the Preds. We'll tell you why their final preseason game will not take place, as we've got a live look right now from the west coast of Florida. This is a live look from Naples.
And back here at home, a Nashville organization bringing showers to folks who are waiting for running water. They are desperate. We'll talk more about their impact over in North Carolina.
And still to come this morning on Fox 17 News in our 7 o'clock hour, a child has died after being hit by a car riding a scooter with her mom. We'll tell you what we know right now about the search for the driver and the mother's condition.
Look out, 'cause here I come.
Have you always had trouble losing weight and keeping it off? Same.
Discover the power of Wegovy.
And I'm marching on to the beat I drum.
With Wegovy, I lost 35 pounds. And some lost over 46 pounds.
Wegovy.
And I'm keeping the weight off.
Wegovy helps you lose weight and keep it off.
I'm reducing my risk.
Wegovy is the only FDA-approved weight management medicine that's proven to reduce risk of major cardiovascular events in adults with known heart disease and with either obesity or overweight.
Wegovy shouldn't be used with semaglutide or GLP-1 medicines. Don't take Wegovy if you or your family had medullary thyroid cancer, multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if allergic to it. Stop Wegovy and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may happen, including pancreatitis and gallbladder problems. Wegovy may cause low blood sugar in people with diabetes, especially if you take medicines to treat diabetes. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes, or if you feel your heart racing while at rest. Depression or thoughts of suicide may occur. Call your provider right away if you have any mental changes. Common side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may cause kidney problems.
With Wegovy,
I'm losing weight.
I'm keeping it off.
And I'm lowering my CV risk.
That's the power of Wegovy.
Check your cost and coverage before talking to your healthcare professional about Wegovy.
Welcome to the most honest commercial you've ever seen. Not the cleanest, just the most honest.
Today, we're fixing a home's foundation.
I mean, that is like the most common thing to see in the world.
Pretty common, yeah.
Right.
So it's the soil that's eroding away, causing those cavities, those voids that the foundation then wants to settle into.
And then you guys with your superhero capes show up and fix everything.
Yes, sir.
Get a free and honest inspection with AFS, a Groundworks company.
Alerts, empowers, protects. Watch Fox 17 News at 9.
There is Fart. Right now we're showing you a live look over on Lower Broadway at 6:39 talking about the Predators. We want to let you know that the Nashville Predators are going to be opening up their 2024 to 2025 season against the Dallas Stars on Thursday night. But their preseason game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, that game is canceled because Florida, as we talked about, they're bracing for Hurricane Milton.
All right, so that game was supposed to happen tonight. It got pushed back because of Helene already, and now here we are. It's canceled because of Milton. By the way, in case you missed it, just moments ago, Milton was upgraded to a Category 3 hurricane. Maximum sustained winds right now about 120 miles an hour. Oof. We'll be monitoring those live developments for you through 9 a.m.
Yeah, showing you some live looks in Florida. Right here, though, one Nashville nonprofit certainly making a difference when we talk about Hurricane Helene recovery efforts in North Carolina. They're giving out showers and washing clothes. They're really getting to work there.
They are. Let's take a look here. This is called Shower Up Nashville. Now, typically, you would see their mobile trailers with showers and washers and dryers in the Nashville area serving the homeless community. But they've been called to Asheville, North Carolina to help because of the disaster there. Shower Up, operating 17-hour days. They've given storm victims and families more than 1,000 showers so far, clean loads of laundry, as Asheville and so many other communities are still without the basics like running water.
Most of these folks haven't had a shower or even laundry done in over a week. And of course, there's no running water here. So we're relying literally on the kindness and the generosity of people to allow us to get water delivered. We had a water tanker truck that just showed up, and he stayed here for 3 days pumping water for us.
Wow, now listen to this. Hundreds of first responders and search and rescue and recovery crews, they're also getting the chance to get a much needed shower.
All day long, they are covered in just the disaster. I'm going to spare the details. They're covered in the disaster. That's all over them. And all they want is to have clean clothes and a shower.
Wow, Shower Up uses about 5,000 gallons of water a day. That water comes from any source they can find. So the nonprofit is accepting donations. If you'd like to help them out, you can find a link to their website right now over on ours, fox17.com.
Today's shaping up to be a really nice day for you. If you have any sort of outdoor plans, we had that cold front move through overnight, and it left us with beautiful weather this morning, and it's going to stay really nice as we head through these next several days too. Temperatures for today, I think, will be in the low to mid 70s throughout most of this afternoon. We're going to get plenty of sunshine too, no rain for us as we head through the rest of the day. If you want to do any grilling or anything like that after you get off of work tonight, it should be fantastic weather for that too. We'll be clear, no rain again that we'll have to worry about. Temperatures in the mid 60s by about 7 and 8 o'clock tonight. For Saturday and Sunday, if you have any weekend plans, still beautiful weather here, lower 80s for us. We're going to stay sunny, and we're also going to be staying dry.
Thank you so much, Brett. Let's check in now for your Sure Clear traffic update. If you're just now waking up with us, we do want to make sure that you are aware of the ongoing construction efforts going on at I-40, the I-65 South Loop. Yeah, if you look at this, you realize there's a lot going on. I was just double checking, and then I had to ask Jen. This project is going on until November.
Yes.
November.
It's a long-term project, and it goes until 3 o'clock every afternoon. So yes, they're going to move the big construction crews out of the way before rush hour, but you could certainly see delays just about any time of the day as a result.
All right, after the break, we're going to talk more about the SEC fining Vanderbilt University because the fans, well, they got to it on the field. We're going to talk more about this story after the break, too.
As more people are hitting the century mark, living longer, experts have some, new guidance, as they put it, on how to live longer, but also healthier.
It's been a tough few seasons for the Morgans.
For too long, they've worried about the cost and hassle of replacing their windows.
But when they heard about Window Nation's high quality and legendary affordability, they were ready to team up with the pros. See how much you could save with a free estimate today.
They don't talk about this one in public, but members of Congress allow themselves to trade stocks using information that only they get. It's a rigged game.
Mark Green is one of the biggest abusers of congressional stock trading, beating the stock market by a whopping 400%. After receiving exclusive closed-door briefings and pushing bills to help industries he's invested in.
I'll shut it down by banning stock trading by all members of Congress. I'm Megan Barry, and I approve this message.
My name is Ray Mullis. I was coming home from work. Traffic had stopped. The guy behind
those still available at last check. Now the officers escorted the student section down Broadway. Some iconic sites right here. The bachelorette parties probably didn't have this on their itineraries. For rushing the field, though, the SEC fined Vanderbilt $100,000. And it wasn't the only upset this weekend, as number 4 Tennessee got taken down by unranked Arkansas, and Arkansas was fined as well for their students storming the field. So a lot of chaos in the college football world. Texas moved up to number 1 after Alabama lost. They're coming to town October 26th, but before that, Alabama's number 7 now, Tennessee number 8 now. They're playing the 3rd Saturday of October, and a lot could happen until those matchups as well. On the Cumberland River, Johnny Matthew, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Johnny. Hey, by the way, we were just checking the Vandy time right now, and your health alert this morning. More people here in the U.S. are living to be 100. And we've talked recently about former President Jimmy Carter, who hit that milestone last Tuesday.
Well, experts say there are ways that you can go ahead and boost your chances of making it to 100. So what do you need to do now? CNN's Mandy Gaither has the story.
It's a milestone more are reaching, and the number of people who hit 100 in the U.S. is expected to more than quadruple over the next 30 years. But when it comes to living healthier for longer, experts say age is more than a number. Instead, aging is marked by metabolism changes, cells no longer replicating, stem cell exhaustion, meaning they aren't replenishing as quickly, and declining immunity.
Each one of those hallmarks of aging, as they're called, is a potential area for intervention where you could actually extend lifespan by focusing on those things.
Dr. Sanjay Gupta says that while we do age a little every day, studies show there are bursts of molecular changes that accelerate aging, and he says they happen when a person's around 44 years old and again around 60 years old.
Those things start to change primarily at those ages. So those are ages where you should really start to pay attention to aging more than you normally do.
The CDC says healthy aging means making good lifestyle decisions and developing healthy habits. That includes nutrition, having a healthy, balanced diet, keeping our minds stimulated, getting enough sleep, staying physically active and socially connected and engaged with others, and managing stress. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
All right, get that sleep, Jen.
Okay, Erica. You got any good recommendations on that?
None.
Okay. Right now, 6:49 is the time right now. Waking up with a live look down in Tampa, where they are getting ready for Hurricane Milton. In case you've missed it this morning, it was a Category 2 when you went to bed, now a Category 3 this morning. Maximum sustained winds about 120 miles an hour. And Brett is here for Greg, who's off because he got married last night.
Yes, he got married. He got hitched.
It's
final. We got to get the update on that. I do want to also point out, because folks in Florida dealing with Milton, but they're still cleaning up from Hurricane Helene. So I saw one photo of folks who were lining up to get gas at Costco. So a lot of folks over here for gas. Other sign was still debris from Helene. So it's a lot to deal with there.
A whole lot to deal with, and like y'all were just talking to, it just keeps on getting stronger and very quickly too. Right now, Category 3 with maximum winds at 125 miles an hour now at this most recent update. It's still spinning down there in the southwestern part of the Gulf of Mexico. Right now, the National Hurricane Center still has that track moving off to the east, northeast, and it should be making landfall as a Category 3 hurricane. Winds maybe around 120 miles an hour, so that's also going to bring quite a bit of rainfall to that area down in Florida as well. We could be seeing 5 to 10 inches of rain for these areas that are in that red and purple color, so obviously that could lead to some flooding issues very easily down there in parts of Florida. Further north of that, though, back here in our area, Tennessee, Kentucky, it is all dry, no rain at all popping up on future track. Here's Hurricane Milton as it continues to travel through the Gulf of Mexico throughout Tuesday, Wednesday, and then even into Thursday once it pushes over into parts of Florida. It could bring in some heavy rainfall to the Georgia coast, also the South Carolina coast as well. But again, north of that, back here in Tennessee and Kentucky, it is all dry for us. We are looking at beautiful weather for the next 7 days and probably even the next 14 days. Temperatures for this afternoon, low to mid 70s, 76 are high today. Same goes for tomorrow. Wednesday through Friday, we're in the upper 70s. Saturday and Sunday, we'll be get plenty of sunshine and stay dry with high temperatures in the lower 80s.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Fall colors are showing up in various parts of the country, including around this Wisconsin waterway. And this insect decided to hide in plain sight among some fall decorative lights. And we'll call this Sunsets and Soybeans, a stunning, colorful end of day during harvest work in Wisconsin.
Want to see your weather photos and videos on TV? Click Chime In on this station's website to share.
We are going to check in now for a circular traffic update and take you to Fessler's Lane, where, yes, we are seeing a little bit of a backup here on your screen. This is east of Nashville, again, I-40 Fessler's Lane. I know, Jen, you were checking the SmartWay traffic maps to see if this is that typical congestion or if there is an accident ahead.
Well, it looks like it's just congestion because we're people just up ahead. So if you look at our screen right here, you'll see exactly what we're talking about. Toward the top of your screen, you'll see where I-40 splits off into 2 different directions. Well, as you approach that area, we've got some construction cones and people just kind of generally pumping the brakes, making last-minute decisions because they're not sure which way to go, and that's what's causing it as of right now. I don't see any crashes. But we'll certainly keep an eye on that for you and let you know if we pick up anything in the next few minutes.
Coming up on Fox 17 News, though, we are going to be tracking Hurricane Milton. I just talked about the folks who are lining up to get gas. Going to show you some more videos, and we know so many of you could be traveling to Florida for fall break.
Absolutely.
News this Monday morning. Take a beautiful look at this sunrise out there. This shot is showing off. Look at this.
Tennessee orange.
I love, well, yes, after Saturday's loss. It's a little hard to hear, but
it's a glimmer of
nonetheless,
hope for Vols fans.
Nissan Stadium, they got a noon game coming up against the Colts on Sunday. So this area, prepare ahead, is going to be very busy this weekend.
Good call. All right, hey, right now, in case you missed it, in consumer headlines, Costco is about to drop some prices, specifically on their Kirkland Signature brand. Kirkland Signature brand's private label, of course, that usually price compete in a lot of categories against other national brand names. Some examples of price cuts include Kirkland products like nuts and bread.
As well as staple items like foil and laundry packs. They're going to have some, they say, deep price cuts. However, Costco is also simultaneously raising the member prices in both the Gold Star and Executive memberships.
There's always a catch.
There is a catch. But maybe you can still save some coins.
Hey, take a look at this. As Florida braces for Hurricane Milton, we are getting video of cars in St. Petersburg getting in line to collect sandbags that are being distributed. Florida now starting what could be its biggest evacuation effort since 2017. The governor, Ron DeSantis, has urged pretty much everyone to get out or go north. And in this case, even coming inland may not protect a lot of folks because Milton is expected to go right over the majority of the state.
Yeah, because folks in this evacuation zones is what they have. So you know, based on your zone, when you need to leave, where you need to go, all the things. We're going to check in now, though, with our Code Red meteorologist. Brett, that is one of the videos I was talking about. Folks who are lining up for gas and the debris on the other side there.
Yeah, I guess you just got to do what you got to do. And, you know, Helene just moved through. That caused that destruction. And now Milton's coming on the heels of Helene. But for us, Helene actually brought some very beneficial rainfall across Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. This is the drought map. And now it's really just this area in tan dealing with that level 1 drought, level 2 drought right there in that shade of orange down closer to Interstate 65. And thank goodness we got that rain because now it's going to be about at least a 2-week stretch where we might not get a single raindrop here. We're going to stay very dry as we head into the next couple of weeks. October 12th through the 16th, we'll be talking about drier than normal conditions here in Tennessee and in Kentucky. And then out a little bit after that, October 14th through the 20th, still looking like drier than normal conditions right here in Tennessee and Kentucky. If you have any plans, though, the rest of this week, especially the weekend, it's shaping up to be a really nice one for you. Saturday and Sunday, we'll get plenty of sunshine. High temperatures should be around the lower 80s both days, Saturday and Sunday. So just get out there and enjoy this week also into the weekend.
All right, Brett, I'm doing another circular traffic update for you. We now see some backup that is happening in an area that we always see backup, especially this time of the morning. I-65 at the I-24 junction. This is north of downtown. I was doing a double check of our SmartWay cameras to see, hey, is there anything that's causing this? There are no crashes. Nope. It's just the Monday morning congestion. Even though you have schools that are out for fall break, you're still going to have to deal with the backup. So we'll do another circular traffic update for you in just a couple of minutes.
Right now, let's head over to fox17.com and find out what's trending this morning. In other words, what are you most interested in reading right now? Well, a lot of you are reading this article, the nonstop flights to Ireland, coming to Nashville with a new airline. We brought this to you as breaking news last week. Aer Lingus announcing those stops in Dublin. If you want to read more about it, maybe think about booking your flight. These don't start until next year. In the spring.
You can save up now.
But you could start saving now, absolutely. We've got it for you right now at fox17.com.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
This hour on Fox 17, we're live along Nolensville Pike after Metro Police tell us a 10-year-old died in a scooter accident here after getting hit by a car. The latest from officers.
And right now we have police in the mid-state looking for a teenager who they want to talk to about a deadly shooting over the weekend.
And I believe that Vandy fans are still riding a high this Monday morning after beating #1 Alabama on Saturday. But there's a hefty fine the school is facing, and we're going to tell you how they're offsetting that cost.
Thanks so much for starting your Monday with us here on Fox 17 News this morning. It is October 7th. A mom and her 10-year-old daughter ending up in the hospital over the weekend after getting hit by a car while riding scooters. And unfortunately, we have learned A 10-year-old little girl has died.
It happened over on Nolensville Pike, right near Paragon Mills Road. That is where we find Fox 17 News' Johnny Maffey. Johnny, are you getting another update and some more information from officers?
Yes, Erica and Jen, we're here on Nolensville Pike where Emily Sanchez Ramirez was that 10-year-old girl we learned died, and she was scootering with her mom here in the bike lane, again, right near Plaza Mariachi. We're near Paragon Mills Road as well, and officers are looking for a car involved in this crash. You can see on your screen here they're looking for this red Nissan. Take a look. Police tell Fox 17 it drove off, has damage on the front and a broken headlight with temporary plates. This all happening Saturday night. Now, the girl's mother, 28-year-old Laura Ramirez Gonzalez, was with her scootering in the southbound bike lane heading north, according to MNPD. We're told Emily Sanchez Ramirez was taken to Vanderbilt Children's Hospital where she died due to her injuries, and Laura Ramirez Gonzalez, the girl's mother, is in critical condition at Vanderbilt Medical Center. Now, officers do ask if you've seen that car, again, the red Nissan with temporary plates, front end damage, a broken headlight as well. You're asked to call Crime Stoppers, and we'll be certainly following this case for you. Live this morning in Nashville, Johnny Maffey, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Johnny, thank you very much. 7:01 is the time right now. In Operation Crime and Justice, we have a teenager wanted for questioning this morning after a deadly shooting that happened right outside of a treatment center in South Nashville.
Yeah, go ahead and take a look here. Metro Police say a teenager was asked to leave the 413 residential program. It's located on Foster Avenue in South Nashville. This was Saturday. Well, he came back Sunday, and police say when he was told to get out of the program once again, he left, and that's when a shooting happened on the way out. This is all according to police.
All right, so Metro Police tell us that 44-year-old Michael Harvell was shot and killed, and police right now are searching for that teenager. His name is Malik Turrentine. Again, wanted for questioning. The identity of the shooter still not known. If you see Turrentine or know anything about that situation, you're asked to call police.
We're talking now about trending stories over on Fox17.com. The Commodores making history this weekend, upsetting #1 ranked Alabama right here in Nashville. So how do they celebrate?
They tore down the goalpost.
That's right. Where did they take it?
Into the river.
Okay.
We're going to get you updated here this morning. The students, with the help of a police escort, took the goalpost from campus about 3 miles down to the Cumberland River and tossed it in. It was quite the sight. The fire department did retrieve the goalpost and took it back to Vandy. Well, now the school is auctioning off parts of the goalpost to try to pay the fine that's been incurred. It's a $100,000 fine. The 4-inch sections of the goalpost that were for sale for about $1,000, those have all sold out. And there are still 8-inch pieces of the field goal crossbar available for you to buy. What's the price on those, Erica?
I think it was $4,000.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's wild.
$4,000. So again, the 4-inch pieces are sold out. There are still, I'm going to refresh right here now, there are still 12 of the 8-inch pieces that could be bought for that, you know, pocket change amount of about $4,000.
So I believe you mentioned it, but I want to make sure we're clear here. The SEC issuing a $100,000 fine. Arkansas also got fined this weekend for $250,000. So it just keeps going up.
It was just Vandy's first time doing this, so that's why they got the lower.
Yeah, so if they beat another highly ranked team again, they might get another higher fee. By the way, we also took a closer look at the polling here. The Vols are number 8 in the AP poll. Alabama bumped to number 7. The Vols and the Tide, if you're wondering, play in Knoxville on the 3rd Saturday of October. Our Johnny Maffey was covering this story earlier, and he said, "You going to the game?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm going. I'm going."
It certainly has been a wild weekend here on West End. Right now, we want to hear from you over in our live question of the morning on our Twitter or X account. We asked, do you think Vanderbilt fans should have been stopped in marching down Broadway with the goalpost? And 85% of you say no. I mean, listen, we have heard so many people say, I'm not even a Vanderbilt fan, but I'm in support of the celebration.
Well, you heard Lane Kiffin, who stopped his news conference.
He was doing his post-game news conference for Ole Miss.
And he wanted to ask, hey, what's happening?
He said, how many timeouts does Alabama have?
I think we were all rooting for that, okay? Well, a number of you weren't, but you know what I mean. I know
Sorry,
all
Vols
the
fans,
Alabama
by the
fans
way.
are like, what are you talking about? Hey, we're going to check in now with Brett Luna. I know, Brett, you were here on Saturday, and I saw you updating because you were watching those cameras when they marched down.
Yeah, that was crazy. Out of the corner of my eye, I just see a swarm of something moving down Broadway, and I look up, and it's all them with the goalposts. It was kind of cool to see watching that camera. It was also a warm day, though. Everybody at the game, you know, shorts and T-shirt. It was a warm day. Warm day yesterday, too. We hit 90 degrees right here in Nashville, and now that makes 72 days that we've had 90 degrees or higher in Nashville. We've had 35 days of 95 or higher right here. The next couple of days, though, it'll really be feeling like fall. It's going to get a little bit cooler, too. Temperatures in the mid-70s for us for this afternoon and tomorrow afternoon. We had that front move through. It's left us with drier and cooler air, and now down south, that's where all the attention is going to turn to. Tropical storm watches and hurricane watches in effect for those areas already. Still seeing some rainfall right now, but that's going to get more widespread and heavier as we head into the next couple of days with Hurricane Milton on the way. 73 at noon, 73 your temperature today by 5 o'clock. Plenty of sunshine for us today. If you want to get outside, it's going to be fantastic weather for anything that you want to do out there. Upper 70s Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll get even a little bit warmer. Highs going up to the lower 80s. Plenty of sunshine every single day. Overnight low temperatures are going to get a little bit cooler. They'll be down near 50.
Yeah, it's so sunny out there. Today is the day that you want your sunglasses. So let's check in now for another steer clear traffic update here on Fox 17 News. Vietnam Vets Conference Drive. This is the Goodlettsville area, and I'm not seeing any kind of slowdowns that are going to significantly hold you back as you head out the door on this Monday morning. We're always here, though, to save you some time, so we'll keep checking in on our steer clear traffic updates and share any.
Welcome back into Fox 17 News this morning. Your time is 7:09, and we continue our coverage right now in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. Recovery and relief efforts in East Tennessee still happening as we speak after all that devastation. Kristen Kwan from our sister station, WCYB, has the story of a helping hand in a time of crisis from Tennessee's biggest star.
Helene, 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 you came in here and broke us all apart. Helene, 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 but we're all here to mend these broken hearts, and that's what I'm doing here.
Dolly Parton sending a message of hope to those who have been impacted by Hurricane Helene.
And I look around and I think, these are my mountains, these are my valleys. These are my rivers flowing like a stream. These are my people.
Parton saying she will donate $1 million of her own money to help, and her East Tennessee businesses, including Dollywood and the Dollywood Foundation, will also contribute $1 million.
We're built on tourism. We have a lot more resources available to us than most, and we think when there's a crisis, it's a good time to step up.
Walmart CEO and President John Furner joining Parton with a commitment to provide $10 million.
They've been great to us for a long time, so we want to be here for them in their time of need.
You can donate at checkout, and they're also opening up parking lots for people who've lost their homes.
We have about 100 of these around the region that are set up with showers, charging stations for your phone, access to Wi-Fi, laundry, food. The truck behind us will be distributing a truckload of water here in just a few minutes.
And while recovery efforts will be challenging, executives here say the spirit of the people in this region will help them overcome.
Dolly has a huge heart, and the way that she contributes and she gives back and she loves people was really inspiring, and it's a chance not only for her organization, her personally, but for Walmart to up its commitment both in terms of goods and financial support to the entire region.
God has been good to me, and so has the public, and I feel like that if there's anything I can do to give back in any way I can, I'm always willing to do that.
All right, there you have it from Dolly herself. That was Kristen Kwan reporting. Fox 17 News teaming up and doing our part as well with the Salvation Army and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting. We're helping with the relief efforts, and so far, your generosity, all of your donations, totaling up to more than $200,000. Sinclair contributing an additional $50,000. If you'd still like to do something, and this is a great way to be a part of the efforts without, having to be on the ground there or to go buy supplies, we'll do that for you if you make that donation. Scan the QR code right there on your screen or go to sinclaircares.com.
And we just got done talking about Helene. Now we're talking about Milton. This is still spinning out here in the Gulf of Mexico. I'll show you how strong it is right now, how strong it could get, and then also that path that it's going to take coming up here after the break.
Brett, thank you very much. Right now, steer clear traffic. A little bit of a backup I-40 at Fessler's Lane. Nothing worth a detour right now. Just know as you approach, you'll have to hit that brake check as you come up on that split.
Right now, it is almost November, and if you're looking to vote in the upcoming presidential election, your last day to get registered is today.
Fox 17 News reporter Madeline Nolan joining us live outside of the Capitol there in Nashville, talking about what you need to know ahead of the day.
Absolutely. The Secretary of State says today it's crucial to check to see if you are registered to vote. And again, today is the last day to get registered if you haven't done so already. Now you can go ahead and check your status online at govotn.gov or download the GoVoteTN app. Now once you're in the app, you'll be able to check your status and then register from the app, or you can visit your local county commissioner's office to drop off an application in person. You can also mail in your application. It just needs to be postmarked by today. Now Secretary Trey Hargett says that now is an important time to check to see if you're registered so you don't get an unwelcome surprise when you go and try to cast your ballot.
Obviously there's a large influx of voter registrations this time of year. Better safe than sorry if you want to confirm that, but if you don't see it active by, Monday, then I would certainly encourage you to go ahead and contact the Davidson County Election Commission.
Hargett says that if you recently got married or you also moved, well, you're going to need to update your name as well as your address by today. Now, the secretary says that early voting here in Tennessee begins October 16th, super early for that voting process, allowing you to skip those lines when Election Day comes November 5th. For now, live here outside of the state capitol, I'm Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Madeline, thank you. Continuing coverage now, because a week after Hurricane Helene left a catastrophic path of destruction over in East Tennessee, North Carolina, and Florida, we know thousands are still without power, they don't have running water, they don't have food, and they're desperate for supplies.
Yes, but we want to show you how Middle Tennesseans are stepping up. If you look at your screen right here, you will see all the people dropping off donations at the Nashville Superspeedway in Wilson County. They've opened up to serve as a primary donation drop-off site.
I think it's something that all of the SMI tracks should really get behind. It's a good opportunity to have people provide, give back to the community. We have the space for it, and I think it's a good thing. We should all do it.
Well, here's how it's going to work. The donations collected at Nashville Superspeedway are going to be trucked to Bristol Motor Speedway, which is now a distribution center for disaster relief in Northeast Tennessee. And then from Bristol, those donations are going to be funneled to the counties and people who need it the most.
And we're also seeing donations really start to pile up in Robertson County. New this morning, the sheriff's office there says they're blown away by the number of community donations that are now going to East Tennessee. We've heard from the sheriff, Mike Van Dyke, who says that those donations, at least even as of Friday, stacked up to 7 tons. He said it was nothing short of remarkable.
And that does include, he says, more than 10,000 bottles of water. So it's the Tennessee spirit. Folks are certainly stepping up and getting it done.
All right, so we've got the cleanup effort still underway from Helene. Long road to recovery there for folks. Milton is incoming. Brett, I'm curious, when we look at the storm path, right, and the people who have already seen so much destruction, are those areas going to get hit by Milton, or are we looking at a completely different track?
No, I think some of the same areas may overlap a little bit. Okay. The landfall from Helene actually made landfall a little bit more to the northwest. I think this one, as of right now at least, should be a little bit further south, but still, they were on the eastern edge of that storm on Helene that moved through earlier, so they got some heavy rainfall. So I think some of these same spots could be getting some heavy rainfall too. It's going to really depend on the track. I'll show you that here in a second. This could kind of wobble around just a little bit, but we'll start it out. Hurricane Milton right now, maximum winds 125 miles per hour. It's still spinning down here in the southwestern part of the Gulf of Mexico, and it's still getting stronger too. This is the newest update that just came out, so that puts it at Category 3 status, again with maximum winds at 125 miles an hour. And it's going to keep on getting stronger too as it travels to the east and northeast across the Gulf of Mexico. National Hurricane Center has it strengthening to a Category 4 hurricane now. This is Tuesday with maximum winds at 155 miles per hour. That is a newest update, and that is actually just shy of Category 5 status. Wow, so that's going to get very strong very quickly. Also drop a lot of rainfall for us too. The reds and the purples, that's indicating about 5 to 10 inches of rainfall. Some areas may even go a little bit higher than that. It's just going to really depend on where that track of Milton goes. So here's what's going on future track. There's Milton down there spinning down in the Gulf of Mexico. North of that, we're not seeing anything. It is going to be all calm and quiet for us for the rest of this week on into this weekend. And next week, it's looking like more of the same. I think we're going to just stay very dry as we head through the next several days. A totally different story, though, down here to the south of us. Down in Florida, they could get a lot of rain along with the Georgia coast, parts of the South Carolina coast as well. So just very active down there in the tropics right now. Temperatures later on today should be in the low to mid 70s throughout much of the afternoon. We're going to get plenty of sunshine. Today should be a really nice day for you if you like these fall-like temperatures. We're going to stay the same on a Tuesday, and then Wednesday through Friday we'll be in the upper 70s, plenty of sunshine. Saturday and Sunday we warm to the lower 80s. Overnight low temperatures for the next several nights will be near 50.
Right now, your Clear traffic update. I do want to turn your attention right here to this situation. This is Briley Parkway, McGavick Pike. It's east of Nashville. On the right shoulder, we have a vehicle that is pulled over. The flashers are on. You can't see it, though, but TDOT is there on the scene. We also saw some folks who are walking around this vehicle, so they're trying to get this issue resolved as well. We also go back out to the Goodlettsville area, Vietnam Veterans Boulevard, not seeing any kind of slowdowns there. So, again, this is the only issue that we're seeing here at the Briley Parkway, McGavick Pike.
7:20 is your time. We have a happy ending to an Amber Alert that you got on your phone over the weekend. This baby found and is safe this morning. We'll tell you how the story unfolded from Murfreesboro.
And we're going to continue showing you
the happy face on our truck. Killer! You'll be smiling because you know that you're in luck. Killer! When you fixed up and you know it, Hiller solved it like you hoped it. If you're happy and you know it, shout it out. Hiller!
Hey, team, come on in.
Hey, Peyton.
There's more food in the kitchen.
Where's Eli?
What? Eli? Eli, looks like we're running low on slider rolls.
Don't worry. I invited my team, too.
Your team?
Looks like Eli saved Slider Sunday.
Again.
Really? King's Hawaiian Slider Sunday.
The only way to Sunday.
The most important part of anyone's injury case is the firm you hire. You see, all law firms are not the same. Our firm has recovered billions and billions for clients. Injured, there's only one Morgan & Morgan for the people.
.24 is the time. We do have a good news update for you this Monday morning. This 2-month-old that we're showing you a photo here from Murfreesboro has been found safe after an Amber Alert was issued over the weekend. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation says that Truth Claybrooks, that's the baby's name, was found in Nashville, and his mother and aunt, they were also located. It's a story that we're continuing to get some more updates on, so we'll be sure to share any new details coming up throughout this Monday morning. Right now, though, we are tracking Hurricane Milton that is set to make landfall on Wednesday, I believe. But right now, we're showing you a live look. This is over in Naples, Florida. And what stood out to me the most is not just the person who's standing there on the beach. I think they're doing some fishing or something. But also, they have the this pier barricaded, so folks are not able to get out there and perhaps go on that pier and do some more fishing. We're going to check in now, though, with Brett Luna, our code red meteorologist. Brett, I know you've been tracking the landfall and also the intensity, which I do know it shifts on a dime.
It does, and you know, with the most recent update that came out, it actually has it going up to 155 mile an hour maximum winds now here within probably the next day or so, and that still puts it at Category 4 strength, but that's just 2 miles an hour shy of Category 5 strength. Category 5, anything over 157 or 157 or higher than that. So this is going to be a very strong hurricane that's down there in the Gulf of Mexico. Here's our look at our current drought monitor map. This map does take into account all that rain that we got with Helene, and thankfully we got that that beneficial rainfall with Helene across Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky, because if we hadn't had that, we would have had a couple of dry weeks heading into this, and then now this week's going to be dry. The following week looks dry, so just a very dry pattern that we're kind of locked right in the middle of right now. Climate Prediction Center for October 12th through the 16th has Tennessee and Kentucky with a good chance of below normal rainfall amounts, and then for the next time frame, October 14th through the 20th, we're still looking at below normal rainfall totals here across Tennessee and Kentucky. Temperatures for the weekend should be really good. 80 on Saturday. Sunday will be at 82. We're going to get plenty of sunshine this weekend, and those lower 80s are warmer than normal. Typically, we're around the mid 70s for this weekend this time of year. So just a very nice weekend for you. The first few days of the week, Monday, Tuesday, today and Tuesday, going to feel more like fall weather, and then a little bit warmer for the weekend.
All right, Brett, thank you so much. Do want to say there is a good news update from Briley Parkway, McGavick Pike. That car that I told you about that was over on the shoulder east of Nashville, that car is now gone. TDOT was hard at work over there. Let's head on over, though, to Briley Parkway. This is at Whites Creek Pike. It's the Haynes area, and you're just not seeing any kind of issues out there. I always like when I can share that there's nothing you need to worry about, at least for right now. We're going to continue following all of your traffic updates, though. Taking a closer look at our SmartWay maps, I'll have another update for you during our 7:30 half hour. After the break, though, a child hit.
Have the chance to win an unforgettable vacation experience featuring luxurious sun suites, rejuvenating spa treatments, exquisite dining, pristine golf course, and endless recreational activities at Sunseeker Resort Charlotte Harbor. For complete prize details, official rules, and to enter by December 8th, 2024, visit SeekSunWin.com.
Marshall's buyers hustle for the latest trends. From fashion,
double denim is back.
Got it. To beauty, so you don't have to.
That is the deal.
We get the deals. You get the good stuff. Marshall's.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News This Morning. We're live along Nolensville Pike, where officers tell us a 10-year-old girl died after getting hit by a car on her scooter. We'll have a picture of that car that drove away.
Plus, a teenager shot and killed in Nashville over the weekend. We've got police looking for whoever is responsible.
And working around the clock to help hurricane victims who are dealing with the impacts of Helene. How one mid-state organization is bringing much-needed relief to those in need.
Welcome into Fox 17 News this morning. 7:30 is your time. We have a mom and her 10-year-old daughter who ended up in the hospital over the weekend. A car hit them while they were riding scooters, and we have learned from police that the 10-year-old little girl has died.
Such a sad story here. It happened over on Nolensville Pike, right near Paragon Mills. That is where we find Fox 17 News' Johnny Maffey. Johnny, I know you were working to get some more updates from police. Are you hearing any more details?
Well, Erica, we do know it was 10-year-old Emily Sanchez Ramirez that died. Now, we're right on Nolensville Pike. They were in the bike lane here, we're told by officers, traveling southbound, in the southbound bike lane, but heading north right here near Paragon Mills Road, and we're right by the parking lot of Plaza Mariachi as well, to sort of put it in context for you. Now, officers are looking for this red Nissan we're pulling up on your screen this Monday morning. Take a look. Police telling Fox 17 it drove off, has damage on the front and a broken headlight with temporary plates. Now, the girl's mother is 28-year-old Laura Ramirez Gonzalez. She was with her scootering again in the southbound lane heading north on Nolensville Pike. According to Metro Police, we're told Emily Sanchez Ramirez was taken to Vanderbilt Children's Hospital, where she died due to her injuries, and Laura Ramirez Gonzalez is in critical condition at Vanderbilt Meta at last check. And so if you have seen that red Nissan with damage on the front, temporary plates, or if you know anything about this accident that happened Saturday night, you are asked to call Crime Stoppers. Live in Nashville, Johnny Maffey, guys, back to you.
Johnny, thank you very much. Right now, I want to get you updated in Operation Crime and Justice. Police say a runaway girl from Arkansas was shot and killed in Nashville Over the weekend, 15-year-old Genesis Gonzalez shot several times, rushed to the hospital, but did not survive.
Yeah, so someone firing the shots over in Smith Springs Park in the Priest Lake area. We do understand that she was rushed to the hospital, but like you said, Jen, did not survive. Police, though, are still trying to track down who's responsible.
We'll keep you updated with any new information. Plus, new this morning, a man's body found in the Cumberland River overnight. Detectives say they're trying to identify that man. The only details they have to go on right now is that he is a black man who appears to be in his 30s or 40s. They continue to investigate this morning.
Well, yesterday was a really warm day, well above normal temperatures for us. We hit 90 degrees. That was our high temperature here in Nashville at the airport. So since we hit 90 yesterday, that now leaves us with 72 days this year where we've hit 90 or higher here in Nashville. Our average is 49, so well above normal for this year. Today and tomorrow, though, it's really going to feel like fall. Cold front bringing in some cooler and drier air. Cooler down to the mid-70s for our high temperature today and tomorrow. So all dry for us here in Tennessee, dry in Kentucky as well. Down here in Florida, though, we already have tropical storm watches, hurricane watches in that purple color, and also some rain going on in some areas right now. Obviously, though, this rain will get more widespread and also much heavier as Milton continues to barrel towards that area. Current temperatures right now, 50s and 60s. We're at 61 in Nashville. Same goes for Murfreesboro. Out closer, temperatures in the mid-50s right now, so still seeing some cooler temperatures this morning. Lower 70s for us by noon and 5 at 73. Your temperature for noon and 5 o'clock this afternoon. Mid-70s Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday through Friday we'll have highs in the upper 70s, plenty of sunshine. Saturday and Sunday will stay dry and warm with highs in the lower 80s. Overnight low temperatures for the next several nights near 50.
Brett, thank you. Let's check steer clear traffic real quickly. We've got a car that looks to be having some trouble on the right shoulder, I-24, Old Hickory Boulevard in Laverne. I will say your commute this morning in from Laverne is just generally stacked up all the way in. No major crashes, just some construction zones where we've got barrels out on the roads and people are doing brake checks and whatnot, and a little bit of a brake check because of this. So not worth a detour. I would not say you need to avoid I-24 if you're coming in this morning. Just know that stop and go traffic is going to exist as you make your way into Nashville.
All morning long, we've been highlighting a Nashville nonprofit that is truly making a difference when we talk about Hurricane Helene recovery efforts in North Carolina. They're providing showers and also washing clothes.
Yeah, this is a service that we would typically see right here in Nashville, but they've taken it on the road. The name of this group is Shower Up Nashville, and they use these mobile trailers equipped with showers and washers and dryers, typically serving people who are homeless here in the mid-state, but got the call to Asheville to help because of the disaster. They are operating 17-hour days. They're giving storm victims and families more than 1,000 showers so far. They're giving them clean loads of laundry, as Asheville and so many other communities, even in East Tennessee, are still without running water.
Most of these folks haven't had a shower or even laundry done in over a week. And of course, there's no running water here. So we're relying literally on the kindness and the generosity of people to allow us to get water delivered. We had a water tanker truck that just showed up. And he stayed here for 3 days, pumping water for us.
It's such a hard job, but so necessary. Hundreds of first responders right here, the search and rescue crews, they're also getting the chance to go ahead and shower. The nonprofit is accepting donations, and you can find a link to their website, Shower Up, by going to fox17.com. We got all the information that you need to make a donation.
And a quick reminder, Fox 17 News is still teaming up with the Salvation Army, along with our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, to help with the efforts. So far, you all have helped us raise more than $200,000. Sinclair contributing an extra $50 grand. You can scan the QR code or go to sinclaircares.com to make a donation.
Bringing their concerns right to Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell, what a local organization questioned the mayor on and what they're hoping to go ahead and implement.
Plus, a quick reminder for you, we are your live local news source all.
And bonus bets if you win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
Alerts, empowers, protects. Watch Fox 17 News at 9.
I'm a busy single mom of 2, and between work and my kids' activities, I found that Twice Daily's made to order is really easy to use. Suds, breakfast biscuits, they have it all. Made to order was made for me, and that's my Twice Daily.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Mid-10 Furniture.
It It was a beautiful day here across Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky yesterday. We hit 90 degrees here in Nashville. Today, though, much cooler, mid-60s by 10 o'clock. By noon, we'll be in the lower 70s. And then 2 to 4 p.m., we'll have temperatures in the mid-70s. Plenty of sunshine for us today, just shaping up to be a fantastic day for any of your outdoor plans. After work, if you want to grill anything, good weather for that, too. Clear skies for us. 66 your temperature by 7 o'clock. By 8, we're down to the mid-60s. No rain in sight. We're going to stay all dry through the rest of today, through the rest of this week, even into the weekend. We'll keep these dry conditions locked in place. We are going to be a little bit warmer than normal too. Saturday, temperatures near 80, and then by Sunday, temperatures in the lower 80s. That is warmer than normal for this time of year. Showing you your 7-day forecast real quick. Mid-70s for us Monday or today and Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, high temperatures will be in the upper 70s. We'll get plenty of sunshine. And then Saturday and Sunday, again, plenty of sun, warm and dry. Overnight low temperatures these next several nights are going to be much cooler than what we've been seeing recently too. I think we'll be down at near 50 Monday night and Tuesday night. Bumps up just a little bit on Wednesday night, and then Saturday night we get back to the mid-50s.
New updates now in your Steer Clear traffic update for this Monday morning. We have 2 vehicles that have crashed. This is north of downtown. Take a look here on your screen for what we're talking about. This is I-65 northbound right at Trinity Lane. This is brand new, so you're not going to see any TDOT trucks there pulling up to help. They are pulled over though on the right shoulder. You see the flashing lights. It's nothing that you need to necessarily take a detour for right now because you're just seeing vehicles that are slowly making their way by. We just want to make sure that we bring it to your attention. That way, if you're heading out to this area, it's on top of mind for you. We'll have another Steer Clear traffic update for you in just a couple of minutes though.
7:40 is your time. The group called Nashville Organized for Action and Hope, or NOAA, hosting a public meeting over the weekend with the mayor to let him know what they think needs to happen moving forward. Now, this comes as the mayor has this Choose How You Move transit plan on the table. Dozens of people coming together over the weekend to talk about it. They gathered to ask the mayor questions about issues ranging from that proposed Choose How You Move transit plan that I mentioned, but also they wanted to talk about police oversight, affordable housing. NOAA is showing support for the mayor's transit plan, but it requires a public approval through a ballot measure coming up in November. And those people who say they support the plan say they also have something else in mind. They want to offset the 0.5% sales tax hike that would help pay for this plan with either reducing or getting rid of the grocery tax.
I think its success increases the probability that we could reduce further the impact on groceries simply because we would not have nearly as much pressure on our operating budget and general fund with property tax revenue.
Now, the mayor's $3.1 billion transit plan, Jen just touched on this, would raise sales tax by 0.5%, raising total sales tax for Nashvillians to 9.75%.
After Helene devastated parts of eastern Tennessee, the Secretary of State is working to ensure that those that
truck company sends their insurance people, their crash experts, and their lawyers right to the scene, and none of them are there for you. But we are the minute you call. After your truck crash, call Ponce Law.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. 7:44 is your time. After Helene devastated parts of East Tennessee, a lot of folks are wondering what it's going to take to make sure those people who were impacted can still vote come November.
Fox 17 News, Madeline Nolan is joining us live. She is outside our state capitol. And Madeline, you asked some questions with the Secretary of State. What is he saying about voting?
Well, this fallout could definitely impact and complicate both early voting and mail-in voting in some of those areas that were affected by Helene. But the Secretary of State says that he is working tirelessly to ensure that these voters do not get steered away because of this impact. Now, this comes after Secretary Trey Hargett toured the 6 counties most affected there into East Tennessee. Now, he says the Department of Safety, along with FEMA, are working to help out those who may have lost their license in the storm, but they also are working with the U.S. Postal Service, who has been trying to get back up and operational in the affected areas.
We were just in Greene County, where the Greene County administrator was praising the work of the United States Postal Service. They really stepped up, and you know, there's a lot of effort to make sure that people have the opportunity to get their ballot. Certainly, if their ballot's spoiled, there's legally a mechanism to be able to get them a new one. And if people get didn't get their absentee ballot but want to show up and vote on election day or they're already voting, we can get their provisional ballot as well. So they're not going to be able to vote twice, but we could certainly get their provisional ballot. They'll be counted if their absentee ballot's not received.
Also, today is the last day to register to vote if you do want to take part in this year's presidential election, as well as the state and local races that they will have going on. With that being said, the October 16th, that's when early voting period begins here in Tennessee, which is super early, and Hargett does say that will also allow you to skip those lines come the election day, November 5th. For now, live outside of the state capitol, I'm Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Madeline, thank you very much. Operation Crime and Justice, we're now getting an understanding of what happened after police say a Nashville mother exposed her baby to fentanyl.
First responders were able to revive the baby, but both the child and the mother tested positive for fentanyl. Our Fox 17 News investigative reporter Amanda Chin listened to those frantic 911 calls. And Amanda, I know it's tough to listen to, but you are sharing the latest updates.
Yes, good morning. That's right. Well, in a few moments, you'll get a glimpse of how frantic the scene was after police say this 8-month-old baby had fentanyl in her system. The mother, Shanella Mateen, is now facing charges and is also pregnant and has 2 other children. We do want to warn you, these 911 calls are difficult to listen to. Now, the arrest warrant says thankfully EMS workers gave this 8-month-old Narcan and CPR on scene, which thankfully brought this baby back to life. Officers say body camera footage shows a plate with a powder substance that had been on a table close to where this baby had been sleeping, along with his 2 brothers, ages 3 and 6. Well, there were 3 different 911 calls. In one, you can hear Mateen full of panic, crying out for help, while a neighbor was giving the baby CPR until first responders arrive on scene.
Hurry up, please! Hurry up, please! My baby, please! No, my baby! My baby! I got some drugs, please.
Wow, Amanda, that is intense. Sounds like the mother was very upset in that moment. What charges is she facing right now?
Yeah, so Mateen is facing 4 counts of child endangerment. Now, she did have a pretrial hearing where her case has been bound over to the grand jury. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens next. We know that this is just one of several child fentanyl exposures that have happened here in Davidson County since September.
And Amanda, we know you're going to certainly update us on this story. So thank you for waking up with us this Monday morning.
And we're continuing to watch down here in the Gulf of Mexico. A lot of action going on. Hurricane Milton, now a Category 3 hurricane. Maximum winds with Milton 125 miles an hour. That's what you see right here spinning down in the southwestern, there we go, southwestern portion of the Gulf of Mexico. That's going to keep on moving up on that northeasterly track, and it's going to get stronger as it does too. So this is the newest map that came out from the National Hurricane Center. And right now, right there just off the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula, Tuesday morning, maximum winds potentially 155 miles per hour. That's just 2 miles an hour shy of Category 5 strength. So it's going to get strong, and it's going to get strong quick too. Right now, the path has it moving up on that northeasterly track, making landfall somewhere along the Florida Gulf Coast as a Category 3 hurricane, probably winds maybe around 120 miles per hour. Still too early to tell you the exact location, but somewhere right here along the Florida Gulf Coast is looking like the most likely area right now. Bringing heavy wind, but also bringing in some heavy rain too. All those shades of red and purple, we could be talking about 5 to 10 inches of rain in those areas, so flooding definitely going to be a possibility for that area. Already tropical storm watches and hurricane watches out in effect for parts of Florida. North of that though, back here in our area, it is all dry. We are in a dry period, and we're going to stay dry as we head through the next several days too. So all dry through the rest of this week. This weekend we're dry, and then I think now even next week it's looking nearly all dry too. So thankfully we got that rain that moved through with Helene, or that'd be about a month straight without any rain here across Middle Tennessee. Mid 70s for us for today and tomorrow. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we're in the upper 70s. Plenty of sunshine. Saturday and Sunday, we warm up a little bit more, even highs in the lower 80s. Overnight low temperatures, those are going to drop down to near 50 for the next several nights.
Brett, thank you very much. Let's get a check of your steer clear traffic here at 7:51. For those of you who are getting out the door in the next few minutes, just know we have a bigger than normal backup at I-65 at Trinity Lane. The reason is we've got these 2 cars with their flashers off to the right shoulder. Interestingly enough, we first showed you this, Erica, about 15 minutes ago. We still don't have any cover, so TDOT has not responded. We don't have police just yet. Waiting for that. In the meantime, as I mentioned, it is causing a bigger than normal backup at I-65 near Trinity Lane. If you wanted to take a detour, you could always take Dickerson Pike or Gallatin Pike, Ellington Parkway. Just know that this is going to be a big old brake check right here north of downtown.
Coming up on Fox 17 News this Monday morning, a 3-day strike may have a larger impact to our supply chain. We're going to hear from experts on what's expected in the weeks ahead after port workers went on strike.
And you just got the latest update on Milton from our Code Red meteorologist Brent Luna, giving you a live look now from Tampa, where conditions.
Let's huddle up, because in an SEC world, we're the SEC Bank.
The Tennessee General Assembly was considering implementing a state income tax.
We ended up facing a Republican governor proposing a state income tax.
People started organizing, and the leader in that effort was Marsha Blackburn.
Marsha Blackburn was the one who stopped the income tax.
A voice of reason to stand up to the governor and say, we don't need a state income tax. When she believes in something, she's going to fight for that with everything she has.
I'm Marsha Blackburn, and I approve this message.
Welcome back. Hey, we got a live look at Bridgestone Arena this morning. Starting a little busier down there.
Oh yeah, it does look busy. Also happening tonight, the Gospel Music Association Annual Dove Awards.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's a great event here in Nashville. Coming up Wednesday, talk about one extreme to the other. From the Dove Awards to 21 Pilots. Coming up Wednesday night. They're famous for songs like Heathens. And then we have the Stars coming to town from Dallas to play our Preds. They're going to face off Thursday, and then we've got a Maggie Rogers concert coming up Saturday.
So what you're saying is there's always something going on.
You know,
basically. Hey, let's talk about consumer news right now, because after last week's 3-day strike by the union members with the International Longshoremen's Association, we are now learning a lot more about the impact on our supply chains.
Right, so let's take a look here this morning. The longshoremen did reach that tentative deal, as we first told you last week, with the Maritime Alliance that needs to be ratified by January 15th. So as workers head back to the ports, they say in good faith. Some business experts say it could still take about 5 days or so worth of recovery for every day of the shutdown, and it was just a few days. Everstream Analytics says that ports will likely need about 3 weeks to get back to their full-on normal operations.
We're going to check in now with our Code Red meteorologist, who has had 2 Red Bulls and a Coca-Cola.
He's ready to go.
You're calling me out now. I got to do what I got to do.
He's here to serve.
I have had a couple of waters too, though, and some orange juice, so I've kind of counterbalanced it.
Well, he's hydrated.
Yeah, that's a fact. Well, hey, this is our current drought monitor map. It looks a whole lot better than before Helene moved through. This one came out last Thursday. Still seeing that level 1 drought down here in that shade of tan, level 2 drought out of 4 in that shade of orange down there. So a significant improvement because of Helene, and thankfully we got all that beneficial rainfall from Helene, at least right here in Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky, because a couple of weeks leading up to that we were dry, and now we're going to stay dry for the next couple of weeks after this. It looks all dry this week, and now next week is looking really dry too. Climate Prediction Center for October 12th to the 16th, giving this area in Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky a better chance for below normal rainfall amounts, and I think we're also going to be staying drier than normal for that following week too, October 14th through the 20th. If you have any plans outdoors this week, especially this weekend looking really good. Plenty of sunshine, no rain in sight. High temperatures are going to be in the lower 80s, and that's going to put us well above normal for this time of year.
Okay, Brett, thank you so much. We're going to check in now for another steer clear traffic update. I want to show you right here, I-40 at the 46th Avenue, West Nashville area. There is a bit of a brake check here, not a crash necessarily that's holding up the traffic, but that typical Monday morning congestion. I also want to go back to this situation north of downtown. This is north of Nashville, rather, I-65 northbound at Trinity Lane. The good news is for this crash involving 2 vehicles that police have arrived here at the scene, so they have the flashing lights on. They're watching out for this incident. We'll continue checking back in for this and give you some more updates when it comes to our steer clear traffic update during our 8 o'clock hour.
Promotional consideration for this program provided by Ponce Law.
Fox 17 News and Ponce Law have been teaming up to find and award local hometown heroes $1,000, and we continue taking your submissions. This could be a teacher, a veteran, a first responder, church volunteer, frontline healthcare worker, anybody you know doing great things in your community. We have honored dozens of people so far over the years, and we're going to keep this going. To nominate your hometown hero now, head to PonceLaw.com/hometown hero. Every month, we feature a new hero right here on Fox 17 News this morning. That person's going to take home $1,000. Promotional consideration for this program provided by Ponce Law.
Let's head over to the website right now, fox17.com, and find out what's trending. This is a great story that we first brought you earlier this morning. It is the New Mexico Balloon Fiesta that is capturing the attention of people around the world. It is an epic event, lighting up the skies there with those beautiful balloons. If you want to see more great pictures and videos plus details, we've got them for you now at fox17.com. Also, just want to make mention, we were talking about the Dove Awards.
Correct.
And we know this morning a lot of the winners from the Dove Awards.
Correct, but the actual event was October 1st. So it's already happened. So just a quick correction. I know folks were thinking, wait a minute. We do have more information about the Dove Awards over on our website. It is fox17.com.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
This morning at 8 o'clock, we're live along Nolensville Pike, where police tell us a 10-year-old was scootering with her mother here in the bike lane and got hit by a car and died. We will show you that car officers are still looking for.
And police are searching for a teen wanted for questioning. We're going to share what police say led up to a deadly shooting in South Nashville.
Anchor down, goalpost down, and down into the river it goes. We've got more on that historic win for the Vanderbilt Commodores over the weekend. Plus, we're going to tell you about that hefty fine the school is facing now, but also how they're trying to offset the cost.
8 o'clock is the time, and right now we do want to update you. A mom and her 10-year-old daughter ended up in the hospital over this weekend after getting hit by a car while riding scooters. And now we're learning from police that the 10-year-old has died.
This all happened on Nolensville Pike near Paragon Mills Road, and that's where we find Fox 17 News reporter Johnny Maffey live now.
Good morning, Jen and Erica. So what Metro Police tell us is 10-year-old Emily Sanchez Ramirez was the girl that died. She was in the bike lane right here heading north in the southbound lane. Officers say along Nolensville Pike, we're right near Plaza Mariachi, when a red Nissan hit her. Again, that's all according to officers, and we will pull up that red Nissan right now on your screen that officers are still looking for. We're told it has front end damage, also a broken headlight with temporary plates. Now the girl's mother, 28-year-old Laura Ramirez Gonzalez, was with her daughter, scootering again in the southbound lane heading north. We're told Emily Sanchez Ramirez was taken to Vanderbilt Children's Hospital where she died due to her injuries, and Laura Ramirez Gonzalez is in critical condition right now at Vanderbilt Medical Center. So if you see that red Nissan with temporary plates or a car that looks like it, and if you know anything that happened about this accident on Saturday night, you are asked to call Metro Crime Stoppers. Live this morning in Nashville, Johnny Maffey. Guys, back to you.
Johnny, thank you very much. Operation Crime and Justice now. We have a teenager wanted for questioning after a deadly shooting that happened over the weekend. And it happened right outside of a treatment center just south of downtown Nashville.
Well, Metro Police say a teenager was asked to leave the 413 residential program on Foster Avenue Saturday. He came back Sunday. Police say that's when he was told to get out of the program to leave. He left. But police say there was a shooting that happened on the way out, so they're trying to get some more details. They have him for questioning is what they're asking for. Metro Police say 44-year-old Michael Harville was shot and killed Sunday. Police now trying to track down Malik Turrentine, who is wanted for questioning, but the identity of the shooter is still unknown.
If you see Turrentine, maybe you know something about that situation, you can call police for an update there, and we'll keep you updated as we get new information. Also this morning, a big headline from over the weekend. In case you missed it, the Vanderbilt Commodores make history, upsetting #1 ranked Alabama and they did it right here on home turf. The students celebrate by ripping down the goalpost and marching it about 3 miles down Broadway straight to the Cumberland River.
With a police escort at that. Okay, the students, with the help of police, like I said, took the goalpost from campus all the way to the river. Jen, how many miles is that? You said about 4?
About 3.
Okay, 3. The fire department did return it to Vandy, and now the school is busy auctioning off parts of the goalpost. 4-inch pieces, they're already sold out. You missed your chance. The SEC, by the way, issuing a $100,000 fine to Vandy for the students who stormed the field. So they're trying to recoup the losses by selling off pieces of the goalpost.
And I was just checking, Erica, so while those smaller pieces that we're selling for $1,000 each are all sold out, there are still 9 of the 8-inch bigger pieces left, but those have a price tag of more than $4,000.
Okay, so Vandy gets a $100,000 fine. Arkansas also got fined over the weekend for $250,000. That's because it was a second offense fine after upsetting the number 4 Tennessee Vols.
Let's take a look at the updated standings as of this morning. The Vols dropped down to 8 in the AP poll. Alabama bumped to 7. Interestingly enough, the Vols and Alabama are going to play in Knoxville the 3rd Saturday of October.
So we do want to ask this question over on our Fox Nashville X account. Take a look here. Do you think Vanderbilt fans should have been prevented from marching down Broadway with the goalposts? Right now, 85.1% of you all say no. They should not have been prevented. Still sound off by letting us know what you think by heading on over to our Fox Nashville X account. All right, we're going to check in with our Code Red meteorologist, Brett Luna. What do you think? Should they have celebrated like that?
I mean, you can't really punish them for that. That's a pretty big win. Wasn't that their first win over a top 5 team ever? That's awesome. I mean, yeah, I guess you got to celebrate for that one right there. Also, it was warm at that game, too. We had temperatures near 90 degrees. We actually hit 90 yesterday. 72 days now. We've had 90 or higher right here in Nashville. 95-degree days. We've had 35 of those so far this year. So far it has been a warm year for us. We are going to start to cool off a little bit though for the rest of today on into tomorrow as well. These fall-like temperatures are going to arrive, so cooler weather for us as we head into these next couple of days. Radar still not showing anything here in our area. Cooler and drier behind that front. Down south of here though, we still have tropical storm watches, hurricane watches right there in that shade of purple. Seeing some rain going on the radar right now down in parts of Florida, but obviously as Milton continues to make its way a little bit closer to Florida, that rain is going to get heavier. It's also going to get more widespread too. Current temperatures there in the mid 50s to the lower 60s. We're at 62 right here in Nashville. We are one of the warmer locations on the map. Before the rest of today, low to mid 70s for us through the afternoon hours. So going with a high at 76 for Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday through Friday, we'll have high temperatures in the upper 70s, plenty of sunshine. Saturday and Sunday, we stay warm with highs in the lower 80s. Overnight low temperatures these next several nights will be near 50.
Brett, thank you very much. Let's get a check back now on steer clear traffic at 8:05. Hey, we've got help that's now arrived. The cavalry is here. We've got police that have shown up. In fact, that's THP. That's a state trooper. Now pulling over to that right shoulder, we have a couple of cars involved in something. This is causing an extra brake check as you are just north of downtown Nashville. Not worth a detour right now. This is kind of just part of your normal congestion, unfortunately. If you wanted to jump off before Trinity Lane, you could take Briley Parkway to work around this and then loop back up on the other side of town. But otherwise, just know you're in for a few extra minutes on your morning drive if you are commuting north of downtown Nashville.
In Operation Crime and Justice, police say a runaway girl from Arkansas was shot and killed in Nashville over the weekend.
We have 15-year-old Genesis Gonzalez, who was shot several times, rushed to the hospital, did not survive. A witness telling police that somebody fired those shots in Smith Springs Park. That's in the Priest Lake area.
So we do understand that this story is developing, but police, we understand, are still trying to track down who is responsible for that shooting.
8:06 now, and new this morning, a man's body found in the Cumberland River last night, and detectives right now working to identify that person. The only description they have so far is that this is a black man who appears to be in his 30s or 40s. That investigation continues this morning.
Helene, Helene, you came in here and broke us all apart. Helene, 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 Helene. But we're all here to mend these broken hearts. And that's what I'm doing here.
Dolly Parton sending a message of hope to those who have been impacted by Hurricane Helene.
And I look around and I think, these are my mountains. These are my valleys. These are my rivers flowing like a stream. These are my people.
Parton saying she will donate $1 million of her own money to help. And her East Tennessee businesses, including Dollywood and the Dollywood Foundation, will also contribute $1 million.
We're built on tourism. We have a lot more resources available to us than most, and we think when there's a crisis, it's a good time to step up.
Walmart CEO and President John Furner joining Parton with a commitment to provide $10 million.
They've been great to us for a long time, so we want to be here for them in their time of need.
You can donate at checkout, and they're also opening up parking lots for people who've lost their homes.
We have about 100 of these around the region that are set up with showers, charging stations for your phone, access to Wi-Fi, laundry, food. The truck behind us will be distributing a truckload of water here in just a few minutes.
And while recovery efforts will be challenging, executives here say the spirit of the people in this region will help them overcome.
Dolly has a huge heart, and the way that she contributes and she gives back and she loves people was really inspiring. And it's a chance not only for her organization, her personally, but for Walmart to up its commitment both in terms of goods and financial support to the entire region.
God has been good to me, and so has the public. And I feel like that if there's anything I can do to give back in any way I can, I'm always willing to do that.
That was Kristen Kwan reporting. Fox 17 News, quick reminder here for you, teaming up with the Salvation Army and our parent company Sinclair Broadcast Group to help with the Hurricane Helene relief efforts. And so far, we have raised more than $200,000. Sinclair contributing an extra $50,000. Scan the QR code on your screen or head to sinclaircares.com.
And it is very calm and quiet for us this morning. A beautiful shot right there, not a cloud in the sky. We're going to stay nice and clear as we head through the next several days, too. I'll have you an update on Hurricane Milton. It continues to get stronger here in just a bit.
And right now, steer clear traffic. Heads up for you. I-24 at Bell Road in Antioch. We've got that far right lane and the right shoulder blocked off. TDOT on the scene already. We'll check this, see if you need a detour in about 3 minutes.
And if you're looking to vote in this upcoming election, well, today is the last day for you to register. We have how you can do that coming up after this break.
Feels good to be home. Don't miss the 72-hour super sale this weekend at Ashley, featuring weekend doorbusters starting at just $2.99. Plus, Saturday through Monday, take up to 25% off your entire purchase. Only at Ashley.
Life with ear ringing sounded like a constant train whistle I couldn't escape. Then I started taking lipoflavonoid. With 60 years of clinical experience, it's the #1 doctor-recommended brand for ear ringing, and now I'm finally free. Take back control with lipoflavonoid.
Your next escape at Sunseeker Resort, Charlotte Harbor, Florida.
When Hughes & Coleman investigates a truck crash, we often find that the trucking company violated laws or regulations. Violations like these cause crashes. Let us find out if they caused yours. Get Hughes & Coleman and get it done. 800-800-4600.
Are they really going to spend all day streaming college football on DirecTV? Can you blame them? They've got the biggest rivalries.
And bowl games. Speaking of, Frank, run a slant to the bowl of chips. Bobby, button hook to the salsa.
What are you going to do, Coach Prime?
Don't question your coach, man.
Injured, hire the largest injury firm in the world. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Feels good to be home. The Ash Bash Truckload Mattress Sale is going on now at Ashley. Get up to 50% off clearance and floor model closeouts. Plus, get free next day delivery when you buy a Tempur-Pedic or adjustable base. Only at Ashley.
We've been breathing this.
Lots of people don't realize that mold feeds off moisture in their crawl space. But don't worry, we got this.
At AFS, we'll do a home inspection for free.
8:14 is the time, and if you're looking to vote in the upcoming presidential election next month, your last day to go ahead and get registered in Tennessee is today.
Fox 17 News reporter Madeline Nolan joining us live this morning to tell us everything you need to know.
Yeah, good morning. And just like you said, the Secretary of State says that if you are looking to vote in this upcoming election, well, today is the last day. And he says that it is very crucial for you to also go and check to see if you're registered. And if you're not registered, well, go ahead and get registered. Now, you can check your status by visiting govotn.gov, or you can download the GoVoteTN app. Once in the app, you'll be able to check your status and register from the app, or you can visit your local commissioner's office to drop off an application in person. You can also mail in your application. It just needs to be postmarked by today, October 7th. Secretary Trey Hargett says that now is an important time to check if you are registered so you don't get an unwelcome surprise when it comes time to vote in November.
Obviously there's a large influx of voter registrations this time of year. Better safe than sorry if you want to confirm that, but if you don't see it active by, Monday, then I would certainly encourage you to go ahead and contact the Davidson County Election Commission.
Hargett says that if you recently got married, divorced, or moved, well, you're going to need to be able to update your name as well as your address by today as well. The secretary says that early voting here in Tennessee is very robust, given the fact that October 16th is the first time that you will be able to cast your ballot in person, and that is during that early voting period, which will end on October 31st. And he also mentions that you can also skip the line on Election Day. For now, live here outside of the state capitol, I'm Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Madeline, thank you so much. We have continuing coverage this Monday morning, a week after Hurricane Helene left behind so much destruction in East Tennessee, in North Carolina, and Florida. We know thousands are still without power.
They are, but here's the silver lining, or the light in all the darkness here. So many folks from Middle Tennessee are stepping up, and we're seeing that at Nashville Superspeedway in Wilson County. They've opened up their gates to serve as a primary donation drop-off location.
I think it's something that all of the SMI tracks should really get behind. It's a good opportunity to have people provide, give back to the community. We have the space for it, and I think it's a good thing. We should all do it.
The donations collected at the Nashville Superspeedway, they're going to be trucked to Bristol Motor Speedway, which is now, it is a distribution center for disaster relief in Northeast Tennessee.
And then from Bristol, those donations will be funneled into all the counties and all the people who need those donations the most. So really great to see that volunteer spirit really kicking here this morning. Also, speaking of, we go to Robertson County, where the sheriff's office there says they are blown away by the number of community donations that they're going to be able to send to East Tennessee. Sheriff Mike Van Dyke saying on Facebook the donations on Friday, get this, it stacked up to 7 tons. He described it as nothing short of remarkable. I definitely agree with that. That number does include, he says, more than 10,000 bottles of water. Here's the thing. I feel like all of us need to be prepared to stay in that giving mindset, because as we help the folks that are recovering from Helene, we have just learned in about the last 10 minutes that Hurricane Milton is barreling toward Florida and has now been upgraded to a Category 4 storm. Our Code Red meteorologist, Brett Luna, tracking it right now. Brett, I feel like we need to kind of take a breath here and evaluate what's going on, because this thing has ramped up 2 categories just since we came on the air.
Rapidly getting stronger. I think when we started, it was at 120 miles an hour maybe, and now it's at 150 miles an hour. That's just 7 miles an hour shy of Category 5 strength. So.
Now, a question for you, because so many folks here in the mid-state have connections to Florida, whether it's your family, your friends, a vacation spot. We've got folks going down there for fall break right now. Will this hurricane, do you think, keep that level of intensity, or do you think it's going to get stronger, or will it die down?
This morning I was thinking it's probably going to lose a little bit of steam as it gets right up on the coast, so maybe making landfall as a Category 3. But now with the recent just super fast intensification that we've seen, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. The new National Hurricane Center track comes out at, I believe, 10 o'clock or so. So we'll see what they're thinking when that new map comes out. But yeah, still strong right now. It's going to stay strong as it barrels through the Gulf of Mexico too. But as it moves into Florida right now, this is the most recent. And again, a new one is going to come out in about an hour and a half from now. Should be making landfall as a Category 3 with maximum winds on around 120 miles an hour. So very strong winds, obviously. And it's also going to bring in some very heavy rainfall. Wherever you see the reds and the purples, that's indicating about 5 to 10 inches of rain potentially. Some areas may even go go a little bit higher than that. So flooding is definitely going to be an issue across parts of Florida as Milton continues to head that direction. So just Futurecast showing you what's going on. There's Milton spinning down there in the Gulf of Mexico. It'll keep on moving up on that northeasterly track. North of that, though, here in Tennessee and Kentucky, totally opposite. It is all quiet for us. It's going to stay quiet all week long, not looking at really any rain chance here. And then as we head into the following week, we'll keep those dry conditions in place. So we could be looking at least about 14 days without any rain right here in Middle Tennessee or Southern Kentucky. Temperatures today and tomorrow topping out in the mid-70s, upper 70s for us Wednesday through Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday will warm up a little bit more even. A lower 80s then, overnight low temperatures for the next several nights near 50.
Right now, steer clear of traffic. Let's see what we got going on. Erica, anything new?
Yeah, so right now we are checking out north of downtown. We're going to I-65. This is going to be...
Get immersed. With Lovesac, you make the rules.
Get out there and get away. Hit the trails and take it off-road.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota truck.
Like the trail-dominating Toyota Tacoma.
The best-selling truck in its class for the past 19 years.
You want to know how they stay #1? You give Tacoma a more advanced powertrain. This hybrid iForce Max delivers 326 horsepower.
Now you can lease a new Tacoma from just $319 a month and get 2 years no-cost maintenance included.
Nobody builds trucks better than Toyota. Let's go places.
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale. Why pay more for the same weights at other gyms when you can save tons at Planet Fitness? Save $28 or more when you join today for just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends October 10th. Planet Fitness, Strong Choice.
8:24 is the time on this Monday morning. We do have a good news update for you. A 2-month-old right here that we're sharing a photo of, a baby from Murfreesboro, has been found safe after an Amber Alert was issued over the weekend. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation says that Truth Claybrooks, that's the baby's name, was found in Nashville. The mom and aunt, according to investigators, was also located. It's a story we are working to get some more details about, and we'll update this story throughout the day over on Fox17.com. Our Brett Luna, our code-red meteorologist, he has been so busy tracking Hurricane Milton.
And you know, it's just crazy how strong it's getting. It's getting so strong just rapidly. Earlier when we started out the show this morning, I think maximum winds were around 120 miles an hour. And now we're talking about 150 mile an hour maximum winds. That's just 7 miles an hour shy of Category 5 strength. So very strong out there in the Gulf of Mexico right now. I want to start out with our drought monitor map. Still level 1 and level 2 drought in that little shade of orange down there. It goes up to level 4 drought. Nobody is seeing any level 3 or level 4 drought now. Before Helene moved into our area, we were looking at level 2 and level 3 drought across a lot of Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. So this map takes into account all that rain that we got from Helene. And thankfully we got that rain because we were about 2 weeks of a dry stretch if Helene hadn't happened. And now we might be on another 2-week dry stretch. So just very dry conditions here in Tennessee and Kentucky. October 12th through the 16th, Climate Prediction Center still has that area with a below normal rainfall amount chance. And then for the next time, October 14th through the 20th, we're still going to be talking about below normal rainfall right here across Tennessee and Kentucky. If you have any outdoor plans, though, a great week for any of those, a great weekend too for you. We'll get plenty of sunshine, warmer than normal too. High temperatures Saturday and Sunday will be in the lower 80s.
Greg, thank you so much. Lots of sunshine. So when I take this live look that we're going to show you right here on your screen, you can understand that you definitely need to take your sunglasses. Here we are. This is I-24 to Antioch Pike. You have 2 vehicles pulled over on the left shoulder right here. Just be mindful of that. It did just pop up on our SmartWay traffic camera, so we're always going to monitor that situation. I also noticed that there is a little bit more traffic than normal. I-40 at Donaldson Pike right near B&A. Folks are on fall break, so perhaps they're heading on over to the airport. This is the shot that I was talking about, sunshine. It is so bright out there, so today is certainly the day that you'll want to have your sunglasses handy before heading out the door. After the break on Fox 17 News, a child hit and killed while riding on a scooter in South Nashville, and her mother is now in critical condition. We're going to have a live update from our Johnny Maffey to this developing story.
Watch Fox 17 News at 9. Alerts, empowers, protects.
If you've been injured in a car crash, here's something you need to know. The average cost of crashes with even minor injuries is $24,000, and it skyrockets from there. Nobody wants to lose that kind of money. At Hughes & Coleman, we fight so you don't have to pay for an accident that wasn't your fault. And you don't pay us unless we get money for you. After your car wreck, call the firm that's big enough to fight the insurance company, but small enough to care about you. Get Hughes & Coleman and get it done. 800-800-4600.
Want a hot tub, swim spa, or portable plunge pool?
And now at Pool and Spa Depot and our Battle of the Brands sale. We have spas, hot tubs from $3,000 with over 1,500 hot tubs spanning 6 brands. See our huge selection of saunas, cold plunges by Chill Springs and Icelandic Stealth semi-in-ground pools from $99.99. Save big at our Battle of the Brands sale. PoolAndSpaDepot.com.
Hey, team, come on in.
Hey, Peyton.
There's more food in the kitchen.
Where's Eli?
What? Eli? Eli, looks like we're running low on slider rolls.
Don't worry. I invited my team, too.
Your team?
Looks like Eli saved Slider Sunday.
Again.
Really? King's Hawaiian Slider Sundae.
The only way to Sunday.
I believe in this town. I believe together we're stronger. I believe in compassion for my clients. I believe being a woman lawyer gives me a unique perspective to win your case. I'm personal injury attorney Allie Toll. As the only female attorney to ever be selected as the Tennessee Trial Lawyer of the Year, I'm not afraid to be in the courtroom. There are a lot of other personal injury lawyers, but there's only one Allie Toll.
Want Allie to take the toll for you? Call 888-898-TOLL or visit tollfirm.com today.
Marshall's buyers are detail-obsessed perfectionists who take quality very seriously and go to the ends of the earth to hustle the best of the best for you. Yes. We get the deals. You get the good stuff. Marshall's.
Join Fox 17 News to help the Salvation Army continue to provide meals and assistance through Sinclair Cares Hurricane Helene Relief. Donate today.
Watch Crisis in the Classroom on Fox 17 News at 5:30.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News This Morning. This half hour, we're live along Nolensville Pike, where officers tell us a 10-year-old was scootering with her mother and died after getting hit by a car. We'll show you that car officers are still looking for.
Today, it's been 1 year since the deadly Hamas attacks on Israel. New this half hour, we're going to speak with the Jewish Federation of Greater Nashville on how the community is reacting 1 year later.
We have a lot to get to. 8:29 is the time, but we do want to let you know that a mom and her 10-year-old daughter ended up in the hospital this weekend after getting hit by a car as they were riding scooters.
And unfortunately, we have learned that the 10-year-old has died. This happened on Nolensville Pike near Paragon Mills Road.
Fox 17 News' Johnny Mathey. He's been out there for about 2 hours now. I know, Johnny, you're working on getting the very latest update from officers from what all happened over the weekend.
Well, Erica, Metro Police does tell us that Emily Sanchez Ramirez was the 10-year-old girl that died. Now, she was scootering around this area along Paragon Mills Road and Nolensville Pike. Officers say in the southbound bike lane, but heading this direction that we're facing right now. We're right near Plaza Mariachi as well, and officers say that they were hit by a red Nissan, which we're pulling up on your screen right here. Take a look. Police telling Fox 17 it drove off, has damage on the front, a broken headlight, and temporary plates. Now, the girl's mother is 28-year-old Laura Ramirez Gonzalez. She was with her scootering again in that southbound lane heading north right here on busy Nolensville Pike. We're told Emily Sanchez Ramirez was taken to Vanderbilt Children's Hospital, where she died due to her injuries, and Laura Ramirez Gonzalez is in critical condition at Vanderbilt Med at last check. That's the latest information we do have from police. Now, if you see that red Nissan, front end damage, broken headlight, temporary plates, we have it on fox17.com as well. You are asked to call Crime Stoppers if you know anything else about what happened here on Saturday night. Live in Nashville, Johnny Mathey, guys, back to you.
Johnny, thank you very much. It's 8:31 right now, and we mentioned it just a moment ago. Today, October 7th, marks 1 year since the Hamas attack on Israel. Those thousands of people who were at a music festival that came under horrific attack by these terrorists. And so this morning, we are getting some local perspective as to how the Jewish community is moving forward.
Yeah, we are joined by Rabbi Dan Horowitz from the Jewish Federation of Greater Nashville. So, Rabbi, I know so many emotions on this Monday morning, but what is your message ultimately to families impacted?
Well, good morning, and thank you for having me, friends. Well, the message is one of resilience and hope. For thousands of years of Jewish history, we've come under attack, and somehow our ancestors managed to pick themselves up, to join together in community, to be with one another, to embrace our traditions and rituals, and know that they're never standing alone. So for many of us, it's still October 7th of 2023, not really 2024, because we've been holding our breaths collectively for an entire year. Over 100 hostages, including Americans, still being held in Gaza by Hamas, a terror organization. And in this moment of darkness, finding those cracks of light in order to let them radiate hope is what we look towards.
Rabbi Horowitz, I'm curious to know what, if anything, has been experienced here in the Nashville area as it pertains to that event. Can you speak to that?
Sure. You know, it's interesting. In the Jewish community, we feel like often we're being hit from the fringes on both sides of the aisle, so to speak. We have folks who have been marching in our streets for the better part of a year, chanting horrific slogans that effectively are calling for the destruction of the state of Israel. And on the other side, as you all know, we've had 4 different nationalist hate groups come through town as well during the past year. So we are ever on high alert as a community. Our security apparatus, obviously some I can talk about and some I can't, but we are, I should say, constantly vigilant in order to make sure that we are protecting our community. And at the same time, I should note, I've been incredibly humbled. I'm new to Nashville. I've only been here for about 15 months. I've been incredibly humbled by the number of our non-Jewish friends and neighbors who have stepped forward to offer words of support, to stand with us in solidarity. It's about as wonderful a reception on that side of things as I could possibly hope for, and I'm eternally grateful for it.
All right, Rabbi Horowitz, thank you so much for joining us here on a Monday morning.
At 8:34, we are going to check in with our Code Red meteorologist, Brett Luna. Brett is in for Greg, who just got married yesterday, and we're praying for Greg in a lot of ways because he's supposed to be going to Florida.
Yes, for his honeymoon.
For his honeymoon. So fingers crossed for them, but also as we talk about Florida and Milton and this wild hurricane that keeps just gaining strength.
It is still getting stronger and very quickly doing so too. When we got in this morning, I think the winds were around 120 miles per hour with Milton. Now they've gone up to 150 miles an hour, so it is just rapidly getting stronger. You can see it spinning down there in the southwestern part of the Gulf of Mexico still. And I was seeing some questions earlier. People were asking, why isn't it being picked up on the radar? It's just still too far out in the Gulf right now. That's it's too far away from many of our radar sites that are closest to the coast to be able to pick up on Milton right now. So this is satellite imagery that we're looking at right now. You can see it spinning down there, and as of right now, it's going to continue to move off on that northeasterly track, and it should be making landfall sometime on late Wednesday as a Category 3. That's at least the most recent update, but also we've seen it get so strong so quickly. We'll see if the National Hurricane Center kind of either changes that up just a little bit with their newest track map that comes out. More details on everything else in your local forecast here in just a bit.
Alrighty, Brett, thank you very much. 8:35 is your time. We have a live look in steer clear traffic. I-24 at Antioch Pike. Now, trying to figure out what in the world is going on here because we've got some issues in both directions, both east and westbound. We've got on one side a tractor trailer and maybe another car, and on the other side we've got maybe 3 cars and TDOT on the scene. So as we work to find out exactly what is causing this, just want to let you know that it is causing a brake check as you are coming in and out of Nashville from the Antioch area. We'll get more updates in just a few minutes.
Well, new this Monday morning, Nashville International Airport says during the fall break, which for some folks is this week, but right now this is the tweet they're sharing. During the fall break period, 107,000 passengers came through the doors at BNA Sunday, setting a new record.
They said, we did it. We were giving you a heads up on this last week.
Right.
The folks over at Nashville International said that they were thinking this could be a record-breaking start to the fall break season, and in fact, it has been. So if you've got travel plans to go anywhere, just please give yourself that 2 hours that you think you don't need.
Why are you looking at me?
And, just to make sure that you can avoid any snarls in your travel plans.
Yeah, I never show up 2 hours early, so don't be me. Bringing their concerns right to the mayor when a local organization questioned Nashville's mayor on and what they're hoping to go ahead and
happen.
We're
We're off to a really nice start here across Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky early this morning. And as we go throughout the rest of the day, it's just going to stay really nice if you have any outdoor plans. Plenty of sunshine for us through this afternoon. Temperatures by noon will be in the lower 70s, by 2 o'clock in the mid 70s. We'll keep it in the mid 70s by 4 o'clock. I think high temperatures today should be around 76, and we'll repeat that again for tomorrow. After work, if you want to get any grilling done, good weather for that. 66 your temperature by 7, 8 o'clock tonight, 64 degrees. We're going to stay clear all day long. We're not going to have to worry about any sort of rainfall, really not even any cloud cover for the rest of this week on into next week too. It's just going to be very dry as we head through these next several days. Saturday and Sunday we'll keep it sunny. High temperatures in the lower 80s. That's going to keep us warmer than normal too. Overnight low temperatures are going to start to get a little bit cooler too. Yesterday we were very warm. We hit 90 in Nashville yesterday. Overnight lows around the lower 50s for the next several nights.
All right, Brett, thank you so much. Let's go here north of Nashville, I-65 at the Cumberland River Bridge. Now, the good news is TDOT is on the scene, so they are getting traffic to move on over, okay? But on that right shoulder, you can see a truck that has pulled over another vehicle as well. And you do want to be mindful of this situation, if I can get my words out here. Jen, I did want to double check. Is there any kind of backup that's being caused significantly by this?
Just minor, but this is always kind of that congested zone. So think if you're north of Nashville and you're coming down 65 and you split off at the right, just past Trinity Lane, like you were going to go toward Memphis and Metro Center, this is where it's happening, except it's in the opposite direction. So this would be like leaving Nashville to go up north or over toward 24.
The good news is TDOT is there, and those folks are going to be able to get that situation resolved quickly.
No detour needed yet. Yes. Operative word. 8:41 is the time right now. There's a group called Nashville Organized for Action and Hope, also known as NOAA. And they, over the weekend, got together to meet with Mayor Freddie O'Connell. They wanted to talk about his transit plan and a few other things as it pertains to the future of Nashville.
Yeah, and dozens of folks who live in the area and members of other advocacy groups, they gathered over at the Riverside Nashville Church to ask the mayor questions on issues ranging from his proposed Choose How You Move transit overhaul plan, also police oversight, plus affordable housing. They asked a lot of questions. NOAA is showing support for the mayor's transit plan, which does require the public's approval through a ballot question that comes in November's election, so next month. But supporters want to offset the sales tax hike with either reducing or getting rid of the grocery tax.
I think its success increases the probability that we could reduce further the impact on groceries, simply because we would not have nearly as much pressure on our operating budget and general fund with property tax revenue.
And just to reiterate here, this is a ballot measure that will show up in November for folks in Davidson County. It is a $3.1 billion transit plan. To pay for it, they want to raise that sales tax by a 0.5 percentage point. There would be debt incurred, and then there would be some grant money. By the way, if this goes through and they do raise that sales tax, it would bring the sales tax for people in Nashville to 9.75%.
After Helene devastated parts of East Tennessee, the Secretary of State is working to ensure that those can still vote in this upcoming election.
Plus, some other impacted who don't even have running water right now, make sure that they are able to vote in the November election.
So we are working to get some answers for you. Fox 17 Madeline Nolan joining us live from right outside of the state capitol. You're getting some more updates for you. Good morning, Madeline.
Yeah, good morning. This could definitely complicate both the mail-in and early voting in those affected areas that were, again, in East Tennessee affected by Helene. But the Secretary of State says that they are working tirelessly to ensure that this does not turn away voters. Now, this does come after Secretary Trey Hargett toured 6 different counties most affected there in East Tennessee. He says the Department of Safety, along with FEMA, are working to help out those who may have lost their license in the storm, but they're also working with the U.S. Postal Service, who has been trying to get back up and operational in the affected areas.
We were just in Greene County, where the Greene County administrator was praising the work of the United States Postal Service. They've really stepped up, and you know, there's a lot of effort to make sure that people have the opportunity to get their ballot. Certainly, if their ballot's spoiled, there's legally a mechanism to be able to get them a new one. And if people didn't get their absentee ballot but want to show up and vote on election day, or they're already voting, we can get their provisional ballot as well. So they're not going to be able to vote twice, but we could certainly get their provisional ballot they'll be counted if their absentee ballot's not received.
Also, today is the last day to register to vote if you do want to take part in this year's presidential election. Early voting here in Tennessee actually begins super early, October 16th, and it will go on until October 31st. So you can take part in that as well to, of course, dodge those lines come the November 5th election. In Nashville, I'm Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Madeline, thank you. Now to Operation Crime and Justice, as we are now getting more of an understanding of what happened after police say a Nashville mother exposed her baby to fentanyl.
First responders were able to revive the baby, but both the child and the mother, they tested positive for fentanyl. Fox 17 News investigative reporter Amanda Chin, you listen to those frantic 911 calls, and man, it is just hard to listen to, Amanda.
Yes, that's right, they are. And in a few moments, you'll get a glimpse of how frantic the scene was after police say this 8-month-old baby had fentanyl in his system. The mother, Shanella Mateen, is now facing charges and is also pregnant and has 2 other children. We do want to warn you, these 911 calls are difficult to listen to. Now, this is the mother at her pre-trial hearing where we heard from both a Metro Police detective and her defense attorney. Ultimately, the judge altered her charges to 4 counts of child endangerment after police say she exposed her 8-month-old to fentanyl. Her case has now been bound over to the grand jury. In one 911 call, you can hear Mateen full of panic, crying out for help, while a neighbor was giving the baby CPR until first responders arrive on scene.
I think you got some drugs. Sit down.
What type of?
Did my
Okay,
baby get nursed? Are they on the way? How long? My baby's not breathing. Come on, my baby's purple. He's dying.
Is somebody
dying.
doing CPR?
He's dying.
Well, Amanda, we listened to that, and it is clear the mom is distressed. But then our big question becomes, how did the baby get access to the fentanyl?
Yeah, so this Metro Police detective testified at that pretrial hearing, saying the baby had woken up from his sleep when Mateen heard pounding on the table. So the baby was somehow able to get up and grab a piece of paper that ultimately tested positive for fentanyl. We know this is just one of several cases we've been following here since September. And of course, we'll continue to keep you updated with what we find.
Amanda, we appreciate your work on this. It's hard work, it's difficult work, but certainly important. So thank you very much.
We are going to check in with our Code Red meteorologist, Brett Luna.
Yeah, Eric, I just want to start things out right here with Hurricane Milton. It is getting stronger, and it's getting strong fast, too. Earlier when we got in this morning, it had maximum winds at 120 miles an hour. Now, we're looking at Milton as a Category 4 hurricane with maximum winds at 150 miles per hour. That's Category 4 strength, just 7 miles an hour away from Category 5 strength. So it got strong, and it got strong really quickly, too. Here's the current track, or at least the most recent one, from the National Hurricane Center. It's got it continuing on this east and northeasterly path. Should be making landfall somewhere along the Florida Gulf Coast late Wednesday as a Category 3, it looks like right now. The new track map is going to come out around 10 o'clock or so, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with that, just taking into account that super fast intensification that we saw earlier this morning. Obviously, it's going to bring in some heavy rainfall to parts of Florida and strong winds. It'll bring in heavy rainfall too. These areas of red and purple, we could be talking about 5 to 10 inches of rain. Some areas might even go a little bit higher than that. So obviously flooding is definitely going to be a concern down there in parts of Florida. Here's Milton right here on this model. This is one of our long range models. Back up here in our area, just notice it is all dry. All the focus is down here in the Gulf of Mexico as Milton continues to push off on that northeasterly track. This is 7 a.m. Wednesday morning. It's going to keep on pushing closer to Florida. Should make landfall sometime late Wednesday, and then I'll continue to push over Florida and bring in some heavy rainfall too to parts of Georgia coast and the South Carolina coast as we head into a Thursday morning. Want to show you our 7-day forecast real quick. Very calm, very dry and sunny. High temperatures in the mid to upper 70s the next several days. Overnight low temperatures in the lower 50s.
Brett, thank you very much. 8:51 is the time right now. The Vandy with the upset of the year, beating Alabama. We're going to take a closer look at how the goalpost ended in the river, how we got it out of the river, and what's happened to it since then to try to cover the cost of the
stopped the income tax.
A voice of reason to stand up to the governor and say, we don't need a state income tax. When she believes in something, she's going to fight for that with everything she has.
I'm Marsha Blackburn, and I approve this message.
Murrow award-winning stories put public interest above all else. Fox 17 News, winner of the prestigious regional Edward R. Murrow Award.
I'm Blair Durham. After a crash, you are entitled to a rental car, but the at-fault insurance company won't offer it. We've been fighting these companies for over 50 years. Let us fight for you. Call us at 615-242-9000.
A quick check right now. The trending stories, none other than the Vanderbilt Commodores making history, anchor down this weekend. They certainly did, upsetting #1 ranked Alabama in Nashville. And the students, they celebrated, they tore down the goalpost, they made their way down to Broadway, and then they tossed this goalpost into the Cumberland River.
We've got lots of video and pictures over at fox17.com if you want to see more. Here's what you want to know, though. Vandy got fined $100 grand for doing this. In a way to offset that fine by the SEC, Vanderbilt decided to auction off pieces of the goalpost. Well, as of this morning, all of the small pieces are already spoken for. There are now 3 of the bigger pieces of the goalpost left, just 3, and they're going for $4,035 each.
Woo,
that's crazy.
Lordy. All right, let's talk about the forecast today.
You know, we got a beautiful week ahead for us. This weekend's looking really good, too. Plenty of sunshine, mid-70s today and tomorrow, upper 70s Wednesday through Friday. Saturday and Sunday, those will be the warmest, lower 80s. Overnight lows in the lower 50s.
I'm ready to get outside.